from a Bloomberg report, and the photograph of the man and the building are on that website. Speaking of Bloomberg itself, they are saying that Sudan's warring generals agreed to a 7-day truce, according to the mediator. And guess who's the mediator? Salva Kiir, who is from the south,
Yes.
ironically. So it's an interesting story. So Sudan's warring generals, according to the AFP, are ready to hold talks at a venue to be agreed, according to Salva Kiir, president of neighboring South Sudan, who is the lead mediator on the conflict for regional bloc IGAD. So that's a positive one. Reuters is talking about a couple of things. His story is interesting. It says, analysis from tea to ketchup. Some shelves lie empty as retailers struggle to predict demand. We'll talk about the cost of food items today, cost of end products and usage of products and stuff. But let's start with the environment. Graphics Galamsey's story,
and
then the Forestry Commission's confirmation of the challenges there.
Okay, now the graphic has that story. Story is written by Timothy Nyangbe, and it says more than 4,700 hectares of the forest cover in the country have been wiped out by illegal mining activities, popularly called Galamsey, according to the latest assessment of the state of the country's forests. The assessment, which was carried out by the Forestry Commission, showed that the affected forest reserves located in the Ashanti, Eastern, Western North, Central, Savannah, and Upper East regions have been under siege from illegal miners who operate under heavy security protection. The affected forest reserves include Odan River, Apaprama, and Subin Shelter Belt Forest Reserves, all in the Ashanti region. Tonton and Totua Shelter Belt Forest Reserves in the Western region, as well as Tano Nimri and Afal Hills Forest Reserves in the Western North region.
Wow.
Although the Forestry Commission has deployed 13 rapid response teams to clamp down on the menace, the situation persists. Now, all of this was revealed by Samuel Abdullah Jinapa, who took his turn at the Meet the Press series organized by the Ministry of Information in Accra yesterday. Now, the CEO of the Forestry Commission,
John Alote,
was there. He said the impact of Galamsey in some of the forest areas was overwhelming, as the excavations were deep and would require more time and resources to revegetate. And he goes on to give some
is
details.
that not what Frimpong Boateng said? That a Forestry Commission under the previous CEO was a danger to the fight against Galamsey? Well, at least the current chair of the commission has said 34 out of 288 reserves have been affected, with over 4,700 hectares of land which are under threat. So, Jinapa was also talking about the report of the IMSIM.
Then he moved on to talk about what government would do.
Tell me about that.
Now, he said cabinet was finalizing discussions to deploy a special military contingent to flush out illegal miners in the designated red zones.
All right.
He said the military contingent would support 974 Forest Commission officials who were already undergoing military training for the special op to rid the country's forest reserves of illegal miners.
Okay, so let's talk about what the Attorney General has been saying on this particular matter. The Ghanaian Times has a story on page 12 that says Galamsey fight. AG prosecutes 119 criminal cases nationwide and 727 persons involved since January 2021. Malik Suleimana says this morning that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, is urging courts across the country to impose stringent bail conditions on persons standing trial in illegal mining cases. Now, he said he was concerned that some accused absconded in the course of prosecution because the courts granted them lenient bail conditions. Mr. Dame said these in a statement copied to the Ghanaian Times in Accra on Tuesday. Now, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice said the accused who do not abscond after the court granted them bail return to engage in illegal mining. The offences for which they are being prosecuted. Now, Mr. Dame said the Office of the Attorney General and the Department of Justice was currently conducting criminal prosecutions against 727 persons who engaged in illegal mining.
A quick one here on Joy Online. Government told to admit failure in Galamsey fight. Story about him interview says the chairman of the Kumasi Presbytery of the Global Evangelical Church has asked the government to admit its failure in the fight against illegal mining. Reverend Dr. Smith Francis Kobla Tete says the evidence available to Ghanaians in the form of destruction of the environment, including water bodies, does not support the claim that the Nado-led government is on course to fight the illegal mining menace. They are not on course. They should prove to Ghanaians, look at the rivers, the color of the waters. If they are on course, they should prove this, he said. All right, now let's move to the other story on the economy. The Parliament has approved $200 million loan from the World Bank, which was one of the reasons why they were recalled to Parliament over the recess. And the story on citybusinessnews.com essentially reads that yesterday Parliament approved a total of $200 million loan facility from the World Bank as it waits for the final approval of the 3.4 billion or 3 billion IMF loan. Meanwhile, Atuforsen says they will ensure that Parliament approves the Frimpong Boateng report. He was speaking in Parliament after the approval to pressmen. Meanwhile, John Jinapo says it's untrue that the MPs unanimously agreed to approve the $200 million. According to him, it would be unfair for anyone to blame the minority caucus for the passage of the loan, adding that they vehemently opposed the loan agreement, but the numbers did not favor them. He told Umar Sanda on Eyewitness News yesterday.
But let me quickly update you on something else in relation to the Frimpong Boateng report. If you go to page 13 of the Ghanaian Times, there's a story there that says that the OSP, which is the Office of the Special Prosecutor, is investigating details of the report. And it says that the Office of the Special Prosecutor says it is investigating the report published by the head of the dissolved Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Now, according to the OSP, the investigation, which was ongoing and far-reaching, covered other issues pertaining to illegal mining. It has therefore assured the public and civil society that it would take necessary action against all persons deemed culpable of corruption and corruption-related offences in the mining sector.
All right, Nathan, back to the graphic.
Yes, page 13, the president is there, and yesterday he commissioned a local assembly plant for the production of Kia vehicles for the Ghana and West Africa market. Established by Rana Motors, it offers direct employment to 250 young people and is expected to create 300 additional indirect jobs to contribute to the development of the local value chain for automobile assembling. The company has the capacity to assemble 30,000 vehicles annually, and it will bring the total capacity of the domestically established assembly plants by various companies to 100,000 vehicles per year.
All right, organized labor is calling on government to reconsider offering the Saglemi housing project to workers to address the accommodation needs. The government in November 2022 announced plans to wash its hands of the Saglemi housing project to allow a private developer to refurbish the building units and sell them to potential owners. Sector Minister Senso Boati said the decision was taken because it was exhausted and handicapped and could not make further commitments to the project. Speaking on behalf of organized labor on a May Day parade at the Independence Square in Accra, Greater Accra Regional Secretary of Council of Labour Frida Frimpong said the government must make meaningful use of the project, and he's asking that whatever they can do to make the Saglemi housing project useful for workers, we cannot allow the project to go waste when so many workers who have contributed to Ghana's development cannot find a place to lay their heads.
Okay, but now let's stay in the built environment because the Herald has a story this morning that says Akufo-Addo's most expensive hole in Accra turns an object
National
of
Cathedral.
shame, Charlie. And basically, the story says that the $400 million National Cathedral, which was intended to be the house of God, has rather become an edifice of shame, with many even pastors. Namely, he mentioned Dr. Edward Mills, Archbishop Duncan Williams, and Pastor Mensa Musa, all unwilling to be associated with it. Then he goes on to state what the TUC stated recently about this particular matter, and goes on to detail how Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa has been in the US over the last few days, investigating the addresses of the folks who are supposed to be associated with this project in the US. And it would seem, you remember that the IFC loan, that popular Kufo matter when Osafo Mafu and related CNTCI and IFC loan, Charlie, we went to her salon to get loan. Apparently, some of their addresses don't even, reflect the true situation.
It's a very
So
embarrassing
it's one
scandal.
murky situation that.
Meanwhile, in court yesterday, he was vindicated, or at least the contempt charge brought against him was dropped. But still in court.
Yes, the Attorney General, and this is on page 3 of the Daily Guide, the Attorney General, Godfrey Dami, has filed an application before an Accra High Court urging it to send, former founder and former CEO of the defunct Capital Bank, William Atuwesian, to prison for failing to pay 20 million cedis as part of an agreement which kept him out of jail. Mr. Essien was standing trial for stealing stealing from the 620 million cedi liquidity support given to the struggling bank in 2015, which led to its insolvency and subsequent collapse, but managed to stay out of prison after reaching an agreement with the Office of the AG to plead guilty, pay the stolen amount as well as restitution. So the AG is saying that the gentleman should go into
I want to give you a couple of stories about prices, and I think we'll discuss this on the show. Ghanaian traders take on Nigerians engaged in weak sale. I think this is what Godfrey was trying to talk about yesterday. Some Ghanaian traders have taken on a Nigerian who engaged in the sale of human hair extensions at the Mokola market in Accra on Monday. Dubbed the Ghana Week Fair, the Ghanaian traders accuse the Nigerian of disrupting their business by engaging in retailing, which is against the laws of Ghana. They accuse the Nigerian woman of selling inferior wig products at discounted prices, although she claims she was organizing an exhibition. The Wigs and Hair Extension Dealers Association of Ghana expressed dissatisfaction with the move and complained about foreigners disregarding standard trade regulations in the Ghanaian market. So that's story one. Story two, yesterday, Hafiz Tijani did a report about the increasing prices of retail items. Now, I don't have that story online, but I have two stories that will interest you. If you go to Reuters, they are talking about Britain, where you studied, that the retail sector is struggling to predict demand. Supply chain issues and a reluctance to strike deals with suppliers while commodity prices are high have also contributed to erratic stock of goods as diverse as chocolate, ketchup, and shampoo. The inflationary pressure that has happened of late means that people are switching out of certain products in a more unpredictable way, in a more brutal way than they have done, said Luke Jensen, executive director of British online supermarket Ocado. Now, here's the catch. Because of higher prices, people are buying smaller amounts of groceries overall and may have become more careful not to waste food. Now, this is Britain. Yesterday, I wanted to eat yokagari. So usually we go to the yokagari queue, and it's not a long queue. But Sky, yesterday, usually we buy rice and those things which are in the Tesano area a bit expensive. Charlie, the yokagari queue,
long.
Everybody was eating yokagari yesterday.
Yes.
So it looks like the economy has started affecting the eating habits of people. To the extent that the yokagari queue that usually you just go and you buy, you have to wait for almost 15 minutes to get served.
But traditionally, though, people they eat and
No, but it's a sign, and the kind of people who are buying it, and then in Nigeria as well, the Nigeria's Food and Drugs Authority (NAFDAC) says it is taking swift action to investigate a popular brand of noodles over alleged presence of a substance associated with increased risk of cancer. This is the BBC now. The agency said in a statement it was conducting random sampling and analysis of Indomie noodles, including the seasoning, for the presence of ethylene oxide. It said it was extending the investigation to other brands of instant noodles in the Nigerian market. Now, the NAFDAC says the probe follows recall of the special chicken flavor noodle last week in Malaysia and Taiwan after the substance was detected in some sample.
The question is, why are we moving into these foods?
Indo Foods is
our foods.
Let me finish the story. Indo Foods is the Indonesian food giant that makes Indomie. It has, however, defended the safety of the product. The Nigerian agency said the implicated brand was not registered for sale in Nigeria, noting that the port authorities were on alert not to allow that particular brand to get into the country.
Let me just quickly update you that I've seen in one of the newspapers, I've just lost that story about the Ghanaians who were stranded in
Sudan.
They are arriving.
Also has that story.
They are arriving either today or so in the country.
Some of them arrived yesterday.
Yes, they've been evacuated.
That's
Thank
good
you.
news.
Thank you very much
to all those involved.
Richard. Thank you, Nathan. There's a lot happening on the show today. Stay with us.
Your Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Charlie, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design?
It's superb.
Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next is the City Business News brought to you by MTN. MTN wishes to inform all valid customers to re-register their SIM numbers as directed by the regulator, the NCA. All unregistered phone numbers will be disconnected permanently by the 31st of May 2023. Complete your registration at any MTN service center to avoid disconnection permanently and stay connected everywhere you go. And also, GOIL is proud to be associated with the news bulletin. What do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop anywhere? Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part. GOIL Super XP on 95 and Diesel XP are the best quality fuels with higher performance in town for your vehicle. The Super XP on 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. And of course, our Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. GOIL, good energy. GOIL, yeah, dear. Bianca Aloko is joining us with the City Business News. Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Bernard. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Right. Now, coming up in today's edition of the business news, government close in securing funding from the Paris Club as it strives to secure an IMF bailout. Also coming up, President Akufo-Addo pushes for an intervention which will make it easy for Ghanaians to buy locally assembled vehicles. And still in the bulletin, some mobile money agents associations threaten to embark on a strike over delay in the payment of commissions. This and many more coming up. Do stay with us. In a very first story, Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma has expressed optimism of securing Paris Club financing assurances within the shortest possible time. This follows the government's engagement with bilateral and multilateral partners at the recent IMF and World Bank spring meetings in America. Addressing the media and Parliament, John Kuma assured that discussions towards securing the IMF economic bailout have been productive.
Ghana is very hopeful. The Minister of Finance just returned from the Springboard meeting in the US. He took opportunity to meet our bilateral partners and multilateral partners. I can say that we are very, very hopeful that we will secure the Paris Club financing assurances within the shortest possible time. I'm unable to give timelines, but I can assure you discussions are going very, very well, and very, very soon Ghana will hear the good news.
That's the Deputy Finance Minister, John Kuma. Now, the prediction by the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, that Ghana's economy is expected to experience a significant slowdown in 2023 does not seem to come as a surprise to some stakeholders in the finance space. According to the report, Ghana's economy will slow down significantly this year with a projected expansion of 1.3%. The report also suggests that rising prices and monetary tightening will weigh on private consumption and investment, leading to reduced government spending. Economist Courage Boti has been reacting to the development in an interaction with City Business News.
I think it's expected largely, and it's not very different from what the World Bank and a number of other institutions are looking at, including ourselves here. If I remember right, the World Bank is looking at a 1.6% growth for 2022, and it all stems from the kind of environment we are in. We've just completed EDP. Banks are posting their profits or their results for the year. You see significant losses for almost every bank, huge impairment losses. This is time banks will choose to preserve their capital rather than expose themselves to riskier loan portfolios that might turn out even being impaired going forward. So you will expect that the credit stands will largely be cautious and be targeting maybe the easier and safer things as opposed to maybe the capital projects and the things that can really drive growth. You've seen consistently in the second half of 2022 and so far this year that the composite index of economic activity that actually measures industrial and indeed all economic activity seem to be declining and into the negatives now, contraction. And
Economist Courage Boti. Now, President Akufo-Addo has hinted of creating a national financial scheme which will be an avenue for Ghanaians to easily patronize locally assembled vehicles under the Ghana Automotive Program. According to the president, the scheme, when fully rolled out, will cushion the private sector to thrive in the automobile industry. The president made these comments at the official opening of the Rana Motors assembly plant here in Accra.
I want to assure you, and indeed all private sector players, the government will continue to introduce sector-specific policy interventions which create a predictable policy regime and an enabling environment for businesses to survive and thrive. I acknowledge that a critical component for harnessing the full potential for an automotive industry is demand for assembled vehicles. As you may all be aware, I have directed through the Chief of Staff in the Office of the President the prioritization of the procurement of domestically assembled vehicles by state institutions to fulfill government's commitment of patronizing made-in-Ghana products. To stimulate demand for domestically assembled vehicles, we will soon be rolling out an asset-based vehicle financing scheme as it exists in developed economies to afford Ghanaians the opportunity to purchase vehicles from the Ghana Automotive Development Program.
President Akufo-Addo, meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of Rana Motors, Sam Odaimat, assured of delivering stronger brands to customers.
Fast forward 35 years, and Kia is the fourth largest vehicle manufacturer in the world. With humility, we are proud that we can help deepen the relationship between Ghana and the Republic of Korea in promoting excellence. I would like to briefly talk about what Rana Motors stands for today. Rana Motors, as you may have noticed, is now the brand, the auto establishment, which is a one-stop hub and a center of excellence in embodying vehicles and related accessories. In keeping with the company's strategy to create greater visibility and presence, we have 5 modern showrooms and workshops equipped with the latest diagnostic and repair equipment, 10 mobile workshops, and a host of highly skilled engineers in our Accra, Temas, Fintex, Kumasi, and Takoradi branches. The cornerstone of our philosophy has always been to attend to our clients with the best possible quality of service. Hence, our unrivaled investments in spare parts and the continuous upgradation and training of our staff.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of Rana Motors, Sam Odaimat. Now, 4 mobile money agents associations are threatening to strike over what they describe as undue delay in the payment of commissions. The associations include Mobile Money Advocacy Group, Northern Momo Agents, and Association of Ghana. Blame the undue delay on audits of their transactions, which they say delays payments of their commissions for weeks. In a joint press statement cited by Citi Business News, the group demanded an increase for the cap in commission from 1,000 Ghana cedis to 3,000 Ghana cedis. They also proposed cash-out commission shares to be pegged by 50%. The group further wants maximum amount per cash-out to be 1,000 Ghana cedis. To some other stories, and the executive director of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, Duncan Amwa, has stated that the marginal decline in the fuel prices will be insignificant to consumers if the cedi keeps depreciating. His comment comes on the back of the marginal decrease in fuel prices at some pumps. Oil marketing companies, including Star Oil and GOIL, have lowered their prices in response to the prediction. Now, speaking to Citi Business News, Duncan Amwa urged the government and stakeholders to work towards implementing sustainable solutions to maintain stable fuel prices and currency to benefit all citizens.
Around 12, it's quite high, although international benchmarks are declining. So we would expect that the managers of the currency would work harder to ensure that once petrol declines, the inflationary basket will decline, cost of living is likely to come down. A lot of the indicators are likely to be favorable. So one would expect that we would sustain the city's performance so that petrol prices will decline, and that will have a cascading effect on the national economic life. If we are not able to work on the city, whilst world market prices decline, one would wonder what happens when the reverse happens tomorrow, when world market prices go up. It means that we pay way too much. So we want authorities to pay closer attention to the local currency.
That was Executive Director of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, Duncan Amwa. Let's find out how the cedi is performing today on the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade among themselves. The dollar is selling at 10 cedis, 96 pesos, recording no price change. The British pound lost 9 pesos, is selling at 13 cedis, 67 pesos. The euro also lost 4 pesos, is selling at 12 cedis, 5 pesos. Now, at some forex bureaus across the capital, the dollar is selling for 12 cedis, 40 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 14 cedis, 90 pesos. The euro can be got at 12 cedis, 90 pesos. Let's now join Gillian Hammer of Data Bank for more on the topic, the role of the custodian in managing your investments.
Today, we look at the difference between commercial banks and investment banks in terms of how custody of deposits work. When it comes to collecting deposits from clients, a commercial bank will collect and keep the deposits of their clients in their own custody. By law, investments deposited with an investment bank, however, must be held with a custodian bank. In DataBank's case, for example, our custodian banks are Standard Chartered Bank, GT Bank, and Stanbic Bank. When the fund manager needs to make an investment, instructions are sent to the custodian to transfer the funds. The issuer of the investment is then required to provide evidence of receipt to the custodian once the money has been transferred. No money goes directly to the fund manager, so the fund manager does not have the ability to divert funds into any other venture other than what they have been mandated to do. You can find details of the custodian for your investment in the fund's annual report, or by asking a representative from the investment company.
That was Gillian Hammer of Data Bank. Well, that's it for today's edition of the Citi Business News, brought to you by MTN Goil and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. The business news team returns at 1 o'clock for more business news updates. My name is Vivian Kai Loco. Do have a good business day.
Doing gets you learning. Learning starts you wondering. Wondering triggers thinking. Thinking becomes planning. Planning evolves to trying. After trying, you're succeeding, winning, owning. Now, doing that starts with outdoing your limits. Outdo them all with MTN. So, what are we doing today?
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Some Nigerian wig wholesaler decided to enter Dansoman to do a wig fair. The Ghanaian Mokola wig seller say, "Yeah, beer." In my language, say "gbede." You don't mean no gbede. Gbede means never, never. Gbede. Like they said, yeah, beer.
Wig wars sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So they said the wig matter, they don't allow. The Nigerian woman apparently supplies wigs to the Ghanaians and she decided to do a wig fair. And then Mokola put the sign and said, "Kwe, over our wig here, beer. Oh, we get papa." So me, I want to know from the women.
So they seized the wig or what?
They went to cause confusion there. Charlie. So the wig, I hear there is a big industry, Yeah. So there are many issues there. Now that we don't have money in the economy, will you stop wearing the wig so we can see your real face? That's the first question. Then the second question is that, do you care whether it's a Nigerian or a Ghanaian selling it? Once the wig is good and affordable, you for wear. So we'll talk about wig. And then the other problem I have is the Ben. Yesterday I told my people that, Charlie, I want to eat yoke gari because the economy has become, you used to buy rice and those things, small food now they mention.
You enter 50 cities.
Yeah, you're in the 70s. So I said, Charlie, today my yoke gari and you be at 12 cities, I go chop. Charlie, the yoke gari don't they come?
Yeah, the queue long.
What is happening? Charlie, I lost the queue. I said, there's not yoke gari.
No, in fact, yoke gari doesn't have a queue, it has a crowd.
No, but I was shocked because that yoke gari
has a crowd.
And this one is near where they sell the cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that long, about a month or two ago.
No, right now,
membership
the former president, threw out a formation for the boys. No, he threw out a formation.
0-1-0 or 1-0.
Right now, the boys, they move by formation. So, Charlie,
the queue of the Yokogari, it was a very serious matter.
It's a lifesaver.
It's serious.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you are managing the economy. Me, I don't know. Because, this weekend, when somebody wants me to go, so I say, well, I'm not going anywhere.
No, you don't move by heart.
I'm doing retreat.
No, you don't move around just anyhow.
I'm working from home. Hey!
And now, the country, you need to move strategically.
It will be. We are coming into kickoff. It's brought to us by Shell Fuel Save Super, Shell Fuel Save Diesel, and Shell Fuel Save V Power, designed to last longer for your engine. Prevents deposit buildup, protects your engine from wear and corrosion for extra clean, extra protection, and extra savings. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today because extra kilometers go a long way. Also brought to you by Lesheho. You can get you can get your money. You can actually save your money with us. It's a safe haven for depositors who value security as well as competitive returns. With easy access to track your funds, we offer flexible deposit products for 91-day, 182-day, and 365 days. Open a fixed deposit account with Lesheho. Call 0577 707 700. Lesheho, let's improve life. Benjamin will give us the details of the sports.
Let's get into the headlines. And PSG suspends star player Lionel Messi. Arsenal go back to the top of the EPL table after beating Chelsea in midweek action. And in the NBA, the Lakers take down the Warriors in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. Let's start with some para sports. And President of the African Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean, has expressed his elation regarding the decision by the World Amputee Football Association to lift the ban on Ghana's participation in all amputee football activities. Now, as the current African amputee football champion since 2021, Ghana's inclusion in the global arena will further bolster the country's prominence in the world of Paralympic sports. Now, speaking to Citi Sports, Samson Dean conveyed his excitement about the development and emphasized that it will initiate programs to prepare a robust team for the upcoming Accra 2023 African Para Games scheduled for September.
This comes to a lot of us and Ghanaians as great news, and I would say that we from the fraternity of sports promotion in the country with regards to disability and para sports, we are so happy to have bring a conclusion to this long-standing problem, which has escalated into the international governing bodies decision by banning Ghana. Let me give you a brief history about this whole amputee things. This whole issue started way back in 2013, where some wise men thought that the legal status of any association in Ghana with regards to sports is to go to the Registrar General of Companies office, get an association registered, and then that makes you a legal owner of a national team, for that matter. You know, when we are talking about an association, an association produces athletes or footballers for national team.
Now you have President of the African Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean, speaking there. Let's get to some other stuff. In Black Stars assistant coach Masoud Didi Dramani believes the presence of national team coaches at match centers impacts players positively. Alongside senior national team head coach Chris Houghton, the former Asante Kotoko trainer has been spotted at various Premier League and lower tier matches throughout the current season.
I think that the most important aspect is football, and once we are stakeholders in that industry, we need to give it that attention and then the respect it deserves. And so I try as much as possible to observe as many football matches that I can. Not only the GPL, but also to watch the Division 1 and watch some second divisions and then even the youth football. I try to go to the grassroots and then see more football. I think that your presence will influence positively, and your presence, will also serve as a huge inspiration to many. To also be part of this noble industry that we belong to.
Now, he further highlighted the significance of having an identity with regards to team structure and charged coaches and players to exhibit high-quality football at all levels.
The game is beginning to take a certain shape, the shape of structure, and you could see that all the teams, everyone is trying to implement a clear identity of a structure, and this is very, very important. Right from the build-up play through to the breakthroughs, and then the phases of play, seeing how teams are trying to play around the channels, seeing how they are trying to figure out the available, spaces and pockets, and defenders trying to break lines, with some passes, players trying to stay in certain structures. I think that is beginning to pick up a certain shape. But I think that there are other concerns, and especially which is very critical, that we need to try to address in terms of how players have to stay in the game. And in football, I know how, if we say you have to stay in the game, it means you need not to unnecessarily go down when you can stay and continue to play. Play has to continue. It's the same thing also that match officiating need to have the game, to move.
So you had Black Stars assistant coach Masoud Didi Dramani speaking there. Let's get to some other stuff. And Paris Saint-Germain have suspended star player Lionel Messi for 2 weeks because he traveled to Saudi Arabia without the club's approval. Now, Messi went to Saudi Arabia after playing the full 90 minutes in PSG's defeat by Lorient on Sunday. Now, during his suspension, Messi will not participate in any training or matches for the club. Now, although the 35-year-old requested permission to travel for commercial work, PSG denied his request. Let's catch up with some Premier League action from last night. And Arsenal Football Club, they were in action against Chelsea Football Club. They won that game by 3-1. Let's get to some action that will happen today. There's Liverpool taking on Fulham Football Club. Let's get to Manchester City also. They will be up against West Ham United. Now, Pep Guardiola says he's not worried about his players feeling tired during this crucial part of the season.
I'm tired, but not my legs. So the tired are the players, but at the same time, it's 1 month and 1 more week for sure, and fight for the 2 more weeks. And we play the last 6-7 years in this situation, play 6-7 games in 1 month. How many times? A lot. It's not the first time we play 6-7 games in 1 month. I would say it happened a lot of times. So everything is here. Now the mental strength will be there. And in that period is the best period we can live. And we are not tired. If you are tired and you have positive thoughts, you are not tired. And now is another opportunity to, it's just 6 games left. We have a game, one of the games we have to recover and go for it.
So you had Manchester City head coach Pep Guardiola speaking there. Let's get to some NBA news. And the Philadelphia 76ers' Joel Embiid has been named the NBA's MVP for the 2022-2023 season. The 29-year-old Cameroonian center picked up 73 first-place votes, with two-time MVP Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets picking up 19 votes to place second. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks placed third. Now, Embiid won his second consecutive NBA scoring title in the regular season with a career-high average of 33.1 points per game. So congratulations to Joel Embiid. Let's catch up with the playoffs. And the Miami Heat, they lost game 1 of the Eastern Conference semis to the New York Knicks 111-105. The Knicks got 30 points from Jalen Brunson. The Heat were missing star player Jimmy Butler. Now, the Lakers also have taken home court advantage away from the Warriors after beating them 117-112 to take a 1-0 series lead in the Western Conference semis. Anthony Davis with a monster performance there, a double-double, I believe, in that one. 23 boards for Anthony Davis in that game to go with 30 points as well. So big performance from AD to lead the Lakers to victory. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketia. There's more sports at citysportsonline.com.
Extra, extra, let me tell you all about it.
Hey, Dolomistic. You and this your extra thing. I beg, tell me about it.
Abenquine, look, extra is what you and your car get when you switch to Shell Fuel Save. Extra protection, extra clean, and extra savings. You get it?
And no, I mean, tell me extra.
Shell Fuel Save is designed to improve engine efficiency instantly, and with triple action formula that helps protect your engine from wear, corrosion, and deposits, so you get extra kilometers out of your drive.
Sir, and you're not extra, good for your engine. Extra, good for your pocket.
Extra kilometers goes a long way. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today. Go well.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama.
Even when you're stuck with nothing,
come to Let's share go.
No matter your situation,
come to Let's share go.
Let's share go, we improve your life.
Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama.
Let's share go, we improve your life.
Leshego Savings and Loans. Let's improve life.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This June, I for visit Joburg. Then July, I go do U-turn for Paris. Then August, I link up my boys for London. If I finish, then I relax. Because December, dear, ice skating in Dubai.
Ikweku the traveler. Or you be Vasco da Gama. You hit some jackpot, eh? I beg, show us the way.
Someone, didn't I already tell you about Wakana?
The online travel agency.
Yeah! They have a pay small service, so you don't have to break the bank to travel. Just select a payment plan and pay for your vacation. Small.
Hey, sir. Hey, you need me to October. I'm going to Sao Tome and Principe.
Hey, headmaster.
For all your flights, hotels, visa assistance, tours and packages, and all your travel needs, call Waka now on 0242 435 515 or 0307 08082 480 or visit www.wakanow.com.
Waka Now. Let's go.
Anytime is a good time to have a break. Introducing Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's perfect for break times, party times, movie times, and snack times. Savor the moment. Enjoy Munchie Anytime Crackers anytime. Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's light and tasty.
This advert is FDA approved.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winning. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker that offers you a huge range of bonuses, great odds, and many chances to win. Register now on 1xBet.com.gh and use promo code PLAY1 to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. 1xBet gives you more.
Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Welcome to my Caveman promo. It's a Caveman Watches Mother's Day special to celebrate your mom in a memorable way. With every Mother's Day package you buy, between 2,000 Ghana cedis and 2,500 Ghana cedis comes with a classic Caveman watch, scented candles, colognes, chocolate, and handwritten cards. But that's not all. There is a surprise scratch card inside, and when you scratch, you could win a movie date with mom, exclusive Caveman discounts, or a luxury spa date with mom, and so much more. Show your love and appreciation for the most important woman in your life with a gift that she will cherish forever. Visit cavemanwatches.com or call 055-751-6744 to select the perfect Mother's Day gift from Caveman Watches. Caveman Watches. Be remembered.
It's ShopRite's low price baby promotion, bringing you the biggest savings for your bundle of joy. Get everything you need to put a smile on their face, like 200 ml Cousins baby lotion for only 12 cedis, 99 pesos each, and 200 grams Lovey's baby fragrance powder at just 29 cedis, 99 pesos. Save on everything baby with our low price baby promotion. Prices valid till 7th May 2023. Only at ShopRite. Low prices you can trust always.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Health Tidbits is brought to you by the Nyaho Medical Center.
Welcome back to Nyaho Health in the City. We often hear about STDs and STIs such as HIV and gonorrhea. But what do you know about other harmful ones such as herpes simplex? Herpes is a viral infection that is spread through skin-to-skin contact, including sexual contact. It can cause painful blisters or sores on the genitals or mouth. And some people with herpes experience flu-like symptoms during outbreaks. Once a person has herpes, the virus remains in their body for life and outbreaks can reoccur. There is no cure for herpes, but there are ways to manage the symptoms and reduce the frequency of outbreaks. Here are some strategies for managing herpes. 1. Self-care measures. To reduce discomfort during outbreaks, one can try taking warm baths, applying cool compressors, wearing loose-fitting clothing, and avoiding tight-fitting underwear. Over-the-counter pain relievers such as Brufen can also help reduce pain and inflammation. 2. Avoiding triggers. Certain factors can trigger herpes outbreaks, including stress, illness, fatigue, and sun exposure. Identifying and avoiding triggers can help reduce the frequency of outbreaks. 3. Safe self-practices. Using condoms or dental dams during sexual activity can help reduce the risk of transmitting herpes to a partner. It's also important to avoid sexual contact during outbreaks or when you experience symptoms. Herpes is a common infection, and many people with herpes lead happy and healthy lives. With proper management and care, you can reduce the impact of herpes on your life and your relationship. Speak to our team of experts today. Call or WhatsApp us on 050-143-6662 for further enquiries, or follow Nyaho Medical Center on social media for more health in the city tips. Nyaho, improving your quality of life.
Health Tidbits was brought to you by the Nyaho Medical Center.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Run through some of the requests I've received this morning. Nathan, happy birthday to Philip Massey, widely known as Citizen Massey. He was in the bus 2 on the Heritage Caravan. We wish him all the best as he clocks a new age. This is from members of bus 2 Zongo community on the Heritage Caravan. Good morning, Bernard. Please, I'd like to send this birthday wish to my husband on CTCBS. Thank you. To the most selfless and supportive husband, thank you for the absolute pleasure of sharing life with you as you turn a year older today. I pray the Lord's grace will continue to go before you in everything you do. Happy birthday, Ni Allah, aka Logo of Omane and Logozo Total Quartz Movement. Yeah, Ni Alalai, aka Logozo. This is coming in from his wife, wishing him a fantabulous birthday. And to our dear brother, Jerby Jokoto, chemical engineer, music director, and producer extraordinaire with a heart of gold for service to God and the people. Enjoy overflowing blessings on your 40th. From all of us at CHM, JP Music, Jesus Festival crew, and more. Coming in from Calvis Hammond. To you, Jerby Jokoto. Welcome to the 4th floor, my brother. And to Lydia Ameya of GBC Obonu TV, have a blessed birthday. And this is from Edjona Francis Mensa, the husband, to his lovely wife, Enam Ruby Adachi Mensa. Happy birthday. I wish you long life and prosperity. Coming in from your husband and the children. And to Mrs. Ivy Dankwa, CEO of IDV Catering Services, from your husband, Nicholas Ampim Dankwa, and your son, Kwame Boache Dankwa of Learning Skills International School. We love you. Abundant birthday blessings to my nephew, Jas Hammond, CEO of Hammond Africa Brands. More success in the years ahead of you. Glory to God, from Mrs. Samachuku and the Sapara grand siblings. To Jas Hammond. Happy belated birthday to Jacob Bochu of Zenith Bank, Achimota branch. The Lord's blessings upon your life, my brother. Yesterday, 2nd May, was your birthday. And today, the 3rd of May, is the birthday of my friend. You know, Nathan, I have a friend called Nicholas Kofi.
Okay.
His nickname is Poto.
Okay.
I call him Nico Branyo. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when I was in Presec, we shared the same curry. Do you know curry?
I know.
You know, the bed, the metal bed,
Uh-huh.
there's a space between the metal bed and the window.
Uh-huh.
You put your chop box next to that corner.
Uh-huh.
Then you can sit down and eat gari soakings and
Uh-huh.
also learn on your chop box.
on your chop
That's
box.
the curry.
I see.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
he was up and I was down.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was my curry mate. Yeah, Nicholas Kofi. He went to Cosmos International. He's now a big man at Zenith Bank Internal Audit. Nicholas Kofi. Lots of people sending requests. This one also came in from Afi Ofosu of the 2004 School of Admin class. To you, Nicholas Kofi. He's Accra's most eligible bachelor. Pocho.
I see.
Oh, Pocho will be big man. There are a few more here. Boss, my wife turns a big 40 today, so please help me wish her a happy birthday. She's Sheila Wilmot, works at UBA Tema, and the message is that I'm privileged to have her in my life, and myself and the kids adore her, from Kojo Wilmot. Also, a happy birthday to Pa Kwesi Kukubo at Tabora Alaji. Okay. And then the final one here on my list is to Reverend David Kwame Sr., Pastor First Baptist Church, Tema. From all of us at Life Chapel, may the Lord richly bless you.
Okay, this one says, happy birthday to Mr. Jacob Botre of Zenith Bank Achimota branch. Then the message is coming from the Motown team of Zenith Bank.
That was actually, his birthday was yesterday.
I see.
Yeah,
This
so,
one is
yeah, but that's a good one.
Okay. This one says, happy birthday to Mr. Samuel Utu-Ado of Korle Anglican Basic School, Koferia, from his wife Benedicta and the children.
Okay.
Another one says, kindly wish my good friend Sunta Konogini a happy birthday. A message is coming from Kelvin Luchu of the Sugarcane Republic.
Okay.
Godfred from Tema Committee 23 says it's his birthday. Okay, so Godfred, happy birthday to you. And he's grateful to God for another year. This one says, happy birthday to Richard Alote, Percy Tego, George Tete, Mensa, Baby Telo, Nelson, Oko, and Akwete, Adwa, and myself, Marshall Naughty.
Lots of people born this month. Happy birthday to Pearl Jijo Afenyo of Absa Bank, coming in from your brother Doji Boji. To you, Pearl Jijo Afenyo.
Happy birthday to the lady singing this song, Sina Soul.
Is it?
Yeah, today is Sina Soul's birthday.
She has another song. Somebody recommended I played. I forget the title. It's some very groovy song. It's not very popular, but here is a very good song. I'll get it for you at some point. Charlie, this morning, I don't even know where to start from. You know, Charlie, the system is too hard, Nathan. I kid you not, Nathan.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know where to start from. You know, the money no they reach. The economy no they judge. You know, and the prices of things are increasing daily. You know, everybody's looking for money. Everybody wants money.
Oh yeah.
Nobody seems to have any of it. You know, so the question, who is keeping the money? No, because if the money is not enough, then somebody obviously must be keeping it. Again, because if we all, like, I don't know. Anyway, maybe let me start with the Kumasi traders. It will help us. Let me start with Kumasi traders. You know, they are saying that activities are picking up slowly a day after the new taxes were introduced by Parliament, right? And they are saying that the introduction of new taxes will increase the cost of doing business. I just wanted to test. I wanted to test my hypothesis before I even get to the report with the people around me. Because, Godfred,
yes, sir.
These days, I don't know what happens to my money. Hey! They gave me some money. They gave me some money last week. When did that money even come? I think Monday. Charlie, I don't know what happened. The money finished.
Well, you and I in the same.
Somebody will say, "Oh, buy fuel. This, I need 200 to do this.
I need 200. No, that I need 200. No,
I need 150 to do this. I need 1,000 to do this. I need 70 to do this. Charlie, I don't know. I don't know what's happening to me.
It's not just you, Bernard. It's everybody.
Charlie, to the extent that, so the week, I don't even have one CD in my pocket.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I've been refreshing my...
If you don't calculate your money well, and you don't go and take money from your reserves,
your reserves are depleting like Ghana's foreign reserves.
Charlie. So now when I have to go out, I have to calculate. If I have to go and drop the people somewhere, I'll say, okay, when I go, I'll wait. Instead of dropping them and going home and coming back, I'll wait so that I'll manage the petrol.
The petrol.
Charlie, no.
The holiday, I packed my car most of the time. I walked distances that I had to walk. Others, I picked a cab between short distances. But the others, I also rode my bicycle. So I moved my car once.
You know what happened? Yesterday I told the people who organized food for me that, Charlie, I go chop Yoke Gari. Yoke Gari was fast. So, usually when you go and buy, there are some rices at Tesano which are very expensive. So I say, just Charlie, Yoke Gari.
You lie.
They go, no, they come back.
You lie.
I see the queue for there. And the queue, people who did know the non-Yoke Gari people have also joined the Yoke Gari, the Yoke Gari business. Hey, Nathan, how are you surviving? how you surviving?
How dare you take it on a daily?
Godfrey, how you surviving?
We are making it work, but that's what. I don't know if it's called surviving. This is what it is.
I know they sit up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing top either. I'm not.
And the other problem is that the demands are like people like, oh, Charlie, boss, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like
everybody sees you as someone who has resources.
Like
so people are always calling you,
Charlie,
texting you.
I don't even understand.
It was funny yesterday. I was at my usual place at the football park, and some guy saw me. They was like, Charlie, today they have to do something. I was like, I have to do what? It's like, oh, Charlie, nothing they go. Like, I mean, to nothing they go. What can I do? It's like, hey,
you too,
you too are suffering.
You get broke.
Yes, we get broke.
Charlie,
we get broke. We suffer from the food prices. And this gobe thing that you're talking about. Last time I sent somebody to go and buy me Charlie gobe Adabraka here. Charlie, for 12 CDs or something, the gobe that I got.
It was not that much.
Charlie. So I was thinking that, okay, let me try the one in my neighborhood as well.
Same
neighborhood friendly. Oh, Bernard, West.
And this is a cocoa that's even ripe well.
West.
It's not the cocoa that, the cocoa must be soft. Sometimes they have this flat cocoa that it looks like cocoa itself. They forced it to ripe.
Charlie, they've reduced the size of the slices. Now it's like Kelewele, if you are buying the gobe, the cocoa, the Yoke Gali, you said this is a gobe. Yoke Gali cocoa, no. Charlie, it's like Kelewele size. They cut it like Kelewele size. Right now, there's no difference between the Kelewele size and then the Yoke Gali size of cocoa.
A watch seller will look at your face.
It's worse. If they give you watching 5 Ghana per day, no lie.
No, when you even mention the amount you want to buy, they'll look at you somewhere and say, are you serious? This is what you want to buy?
Charlie, meat 10 cedis. How?
A whole meat. You want 10 cedis?
10 cedis like
10 cedis is supposed to be kinky, pepper, fish, and everything.
Yeah, meat 10 cedis.
10 cedis
small one. Small meat 10 cedis.
The system is some way. And
fish 8 cedis.
I want to know how Ghanaians are surviving because I know they sit up. I
know
they sit up. I'm cutting down on a lot of things. I'm cutting down, and I'm going back to basics. Even the dieting and things has to change. Now the other question is, the traders are also claiming that it's not their fault. So it's not like they are the ones raising prices. They are blaming the economic condition. They are blaming taxes and things. So let's listen to the Kumasi traders first, because Kumasi is the hotbed of trade in Ghana. So when the Kumasi traders complain, then you know that things are. I wanted to pick Sky's view, but Sky is avoiding the discussion because he
has money.
He do.
Sky has money.
Sky.
I'm tapping into
the economy is not working. No.
The economy is not working. I agree with you. It's not working
at all. At all. But how you survive?
Charlie, no, it's a difficult thing. Oh.
How you pay school fees?
The school fees that we don't pay up yet.
Especially the schools, they are opening and closing like book.
It's serious.
You pay school fees in January and then February you pay school fees again.
They pay every time.
They should stop that thing.
So you pay every time.
Yeah, you know, they give you the link to go and download the school fees. So even the school fees, you need to buy data to download it. So if you don't have data now, that's how bad the thing is.
Some of the schools peg their fees to the dollar.
Yeah, that's
the most useless thing that I can never think of.
They peg it to the dollar.
You are not an international school, and then you charge in dollars.
No, they say their costs are dollarized.
Which cost?
Cost of running
the school.
It's dollarized.
Yeah, some of the schools.
They should be banned from doing that. It should be a criminal offense.
I agree with you, Charlie. I mean, it's not easy.
You are in another world. For you to be able to do that, you should have a certain percentage of your staff
who are expatriates, or you have exposure to.
Yes, direct exposure.
No, what about those who say they are doing like Cambridge courses and those things?
Cambridge courses?
The curriculum is an international curriculum, and the curriculum.
International curriculum is taught here.
Yeah, but the
teaching is done here by Ghanaian teachers.
No, I think the materials.
Which materials?
The teaching aid and those things.
But the teaching aid is you buy online
in pounds.
So you have to charge in pounds
to offset.
Bernard, the equipment we are using here, did we manufacture them ourselves? We imported. So do we do adverting? People take certain liberties in this country and they run the country down and insult everybody else except themselves.
Take your time.
Thank you.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It's too early. You know, my people, they charge CDs and they don't peg it to the dollar. So that I'm not here to.
Aren't you happy with the quality of education?
I'd have run away quickly if it wasn't good. You know, we are not here to choke.
Regulation should be stronger in all service sectors in this country.
But the problem is that the macro fundamentals have made things worse.
That's correct.
So a lot of the people who are charging, in fact, that's the discussion for today. Is it the people who are selling the product to you who are exploiting you, or the macro fundamentals have made it impossible for them to charge any less? I think that's the big question here. So whether it's a school charging dollars, or whether it's a week seller who's saying that he's going to charge you this amount for the week, or whether it's somebody who's renting you a house who's going to charge you, I think the discussion today has to be, how do we disaggregate your suffering? Are you suffering because the macro is spoiled, which is true, or you are suffering not just because the macro is bad, but also somebody is taking advantage of the macro to also exploit you, right? And I'm going to do this in a couple of ways. I'm going to start with some people who sell different things. Then you will tell me about the week festival you went to that apparently caused a fight. I didn't know. So you were there yesterday, or when was it?
When you finish, you get to me.
So it was in Dansoma?
You get to me.
It's a week festival.
I gave you filler yesterday. You didn't mind me.
No. I was not happy that day. So here are some traders talking to Hafiz about why the things you buy are more expensive. They are explaining from their perspective as traders.
Traders who sell beverages and bottled water are accusing some wholesalers of intentionally creating artificial shortages of some products as a means of adjusting prices to reflect the new tax measures. The traders say customers are opposed to the new prices of products that have been increased following the implementation of the taxes.
Sales no akofom kakra ba ye ni mu producers ni so mfa no ma ne ma obi ha o twen say price no e be koso kakra ansa na o de no ma na ba ti no ma de ne boy de ti stress say on bet ma ye bibi kakra fa ho a o munya ma ye oh bell for increase won no ma vena for increase won no ma is almost all the producers we are increasing no ma if you calipo crowd is say no o mo crowd o come so o mo nton adan ya o say price my.
Oh, new price. I'm the bad employee. So I'm say about so scala all demand omuhono. Esun. And we are so be also near mass of a boca. Obia mass of Benyan Faso. And also now, no sooner be in the factory. I mean, so why, ne kind of say, darling, when I be in the factory, me what the blame I may want them there to so. Mr. Nim the Abana, I didn't mean the Padua, okay, so no more yet, man, I mean, Nim Yama, yet. Then the machines were there, and to understand, I don't know, and then one is what it be true. The time be an man, the OBI, the OPE.
The Excise Duty Amendment Bill will impose 20% on sweetened beverages and other products. Eduse Poku takes products from these wholesalers and also supplies other retailers within the Kumasi metropolis, and he laments how the increased prices will affect his business.
I try a woman drink serio musi to drinks in fact. We said almost to drinks in fact a hard. If you say yeah, you for no drivers, you have a fan of distributors, no one else at the car. So Uber corner look come out retailer and our tongue at the end. So Nebiana pleasure tea. A hard the animal, Cabana, for suppliers. A car, a mobile price in actually. It be a 1 month. Mama retailers now say, at the end of tomb, no more swadomus. Ubaya, I see a tomb. And Nebia Manoka, see a mat to Calipum.
The Ashanti Regional Branch of the Ghana Union of Traders Association says its members will have no option but to pass on the cost to consumers if the government does not intervene.
We met the new trade minister before the Easter break, and since after the holidays, I think we have 2 more holidays has come around. So we haven't got the time to meet him again. So going forward from next week, we are expecting to meet him once more and see what they can do to help us, because he gave us assurance that he's going to pass our problems, he's going to send our petition to the president again and then see how best they can solve the problem. So we are expecting something good from them.
Does it mean that if government is not listening, you are going to pass on the cost to the consumer?
Automatically, that will be the situation, because every businessman, at least if you are not making profit, you must break even so that you can sustain your business. So if government doesn't listen to it and go ahead to implement it and make sure it works as they are expecting, then definitely we also have to pass, if not all, a part of it to our customers.
For these traders, it will take time for them to adjust to suit the tax measures.
Now, prices of some products have gone up following the implementation of the new tax measures, but the traders say the cost of doing business will worsen. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Kumasi, Ashanti Region.
$7:56 Citi Breakfast Show. So those were some traders and retailers in Kumasi talking about the situation. I mean, for me, the whole thing is the speed with which money on me. You know, I used to think that having Momo
would help you.
Would help me, but it's not helping.
Momo is the worst invention ever made.
Why?
For those people who are always having to pay money to one person or the other.
Because you spend more with Momo self.
Look, Bernard, by the time you noticed, you say, oh, don't worry, I'm sending you my Momo line. So you can't even say that, oh, I want to give the money to bring
or
you.
I'm coming to you, but something caught me. Like, you know the excuse go, Charlie, I wanted to come, but I'm hot, so when I see you, I'll give you the money.
I'm looking at you because I don't have a Momo account.
So does it help you spend less money?
Yes. I don't.
Do you have a Momo account?
I don't have a Momo account. I have a strategic one. I don't use Momo.
Do you send money to people using Momo?
No, I put it on to send.
Then you so you don't keep anything there?
No, I don't keep anything there. I don't even have an account to exchange.
Is it linked to your bank account?
Not at all. God forbid.
Sky, that was the biggest mistake I made in my life.
No, but for me it was very deliberate. Because if you link it to your bank account, it defeats the purpose. That's my thinking. So. Because you're kind of, it's like an impressed, a personal impressed. So why do you connect a personal imprest to the main source?
No, because sometimes, let's assume you give me 2,000 cedis on Friday at 2 p.m. and I don't want to carry the money home. I pay it to a Momo agent into my Momo.
Yeah, Momo, yeah.
Then I go to my Momo and I pay it into my bank and it goes straight. That's the convenience I used to.
Yeah, well, I don't get Friday payments like you. I'm not fortunate enough to get Friday payments. But what I'm saying is that it's too convenient to be linked to your main
bank account.
It's too convenient.
Charlie, I know the problem.
It makes you, Charlie, always
suck the money.
You understand? At times, you should find yourself in a place where I don't have money, but because every day people are...
I know the other problem.
People are hitting you with
They gave me some money last week.
You are still looking for the money.
I didn't do
well, you have a friend on the message board.
I didn't do anything with the money.
You have a friend on the message board who is looking for his 2,000 Ghana cedis.
When I brought my wallet back to the office, the wallet was empty. Some fuel, something. And the people don't take the money a big road. They don't take a lot. Also 200, 150, 45, 600.
By the time you
do the calculations,
I thought the money was lost. I looked there and said, what?
Well, I think you're just speaking the minds of many listeners.
Several.
No, I use your people. So I even thought maybe some demons have entered my house to be stealing my money.
Look, Jones Adoboyinla says, I've been doing some calculations since last night.
Jesus.
Till now, I don't know what happened to the 2,000 cedis I had on me for the children's school fees.
Oh.
No robber, no pickpocket. I searched everywhere in the room. Perhaps I must have dropped it somewhere.
But there's a place that there's a place that me and my friends we go and hang out on Friday evenings. But for some time now I have not showed up. So the people called me and said, Charlie, we don't see you, so I get funeral. Charlie, because the pork, I noticed that the pork has reduced in size. Now you can count it. Wow.
All right, a few more comments. Sky, read for me. Nathan, get ready for.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, Bernard. So just yesterday I was having this conversation with a colleague about my salary not getting anywhere. I keep looking at my payslip to see what is wrong. I hardly buy dresses nowadays because I simply can't see it up. This one from Noel from Tishi says, Bernard and Co. Charlie, life itself is not easy now. My husband and I have cut down on our personal stuff like the clothes we buy, the food we eat, and our focus is just on the kids. Even that, we are not seeing top. Oh, Charlie, it's not easy. People are trying to do all kinds of things just to survive. This one says that, Bernard, I came back from the UK last month to spend only £2,000. 3 weeks, the money is finished. Just within 3 weeks, so the money is finished.
£2,000.
And as for that one there, if me too, I go to the UK for 3 weeks, Sky.
But you go to the UK to buy things that you will come and use here.
How do you know?
Oh, usually you don't go to chill.
No, it's not chill.
You come to chill.
So what I'm saying is that we are just talking about the cost of living. Yes, the cost of living. Of all the places that you can draw comparison to Ghana, please remove the UK because UK.
Okay.
You will get headache.
But I think his concern is more to do with
the quick. He said the way the money finished quick.
That's finish quickly.
And you don't know what you use the money for.
Yeah, but if I go to the UK, it will finish quick. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, so the UK push. Okay.
As for UK people,
okay, let's go to Taifa since the UK people are talking.
This one said, Bernard and team, good morning. Are there still people doing 3 square meals a day in this country?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Except children.
They don't know the difference between the difficulty and present. This one says these are days of many side gigs, but little income. Everything is messed up. This one says you people they cry. How much more we with inconsistent income? Tony Nkrumah Boateng from Takwa. This was a morning City CDS. Please, I beg you, don't increase my BP this morning. The calculation is not calculating. Charlie, this economy, the confusion is even more confused.
Let's bring you tech and social media trends brought to you by Vodafone. Exciting news. Vodafone Cash now allows payments to all merchant numbers on other networks. Remember how frustrating it is when you couldn't make payments for goods and services because Vodafone Cash wasn't accepted to merchant numbers on other networks? Vodafone Cash users can now relax and make payments to merchants on all networks. Dial *110#, select option 1, which is send money option, select option 2 to other networks, and follow the prompts to send money. Experience the ease of transacting on Vodafone Cash. Dial *110# at any time to send money to all merchant numbers. Use Vodafone Cash today. And the segment is also brought to you by FBN Bank. FBN Bank, our goal is to put you, our cherished customer, first. Our financial services offer the gold standard of value and excellence. When you think of a bank that cares and puts you, the customer, first, put the B before the N. Think FBN Bank, you first. Nathan Kwao has the trends for us. Nathan, what's trending?
Yeah, a number of things. Chelsea is trending following last night's loss. But it's here, it's in the trends. It's in the trends.
Wait. Guys, stop heckling the guy.
I'm looking at
I'm reading my trends and I'm saying Chelsea's there. I say it's not.
I can't see Chelsea in the trend.
You, it's okay. You let me do my
Later they manufacture the trend.
I'm not. It's here.
Because me too, Chelsea is not trending.
Well, it was a few seconds ago.
It's Aubameyang who's trending.
Well, other trends. Kwesi Arthur is trending. Last night he dropped a snippet of a new song I think he's putting out on social, so it has people. It has people talking. For the basketball lovers, they have a lot of related topics on their trends. Jordan Poole is trending. LeBron James is trending. NBA playoffs, related matters equally trending on social. So some tech news, and the US will not delay a deadline for airlines to refit planes with new sensors to address possible 5G interference, despite concerns the cutoff date could cause travel disruption. Transport Secretary Pete Buttigieg said on Tuesday that airlines were told the 1st July deadline remained in place. Airlines have warned that they will not be able to meet the deadline and may be forced to ground some planes. Telecom firms have previously delayed 5G rollout to allow airlines to adapt. Now, in the US, radio frequencies being used for 5G are in part of a spectrum known as the C-band. So that's the news. 5G rollout causing a few issues in the US.
That was tech and social media trends.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Ever visited a shop, picked a whole basket of provisions, toiletries, and very essential things you need, battled a long queue to finally pay, only to be told you can't pay to a merchant number? The way that thing they pay, but with Vodafone Cash, there is no problem. Now on Vodafone Cash, you can pay all merchants on all networks. Easy peasy. Aye straight. Aye direct. Aye sharp. From your Vodafone Cash wallet to any merchant number on other networks. So whether you are buying provisions or fuel, medication or food, whatever the service or need, just pay conveniently from Vodafone Cash to any merchant's number. Simply dial *110# to make payment to merchants on other networks today.
Vodafone.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Yeah, cocotta, donut, donut, donut. Malaria, super donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D till donut now. Wogonto. Malaria chill. Wohopopo. What really do? I want the donut. Donut. Dabako. No. Scatter malaria. Lonat, it is scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa umojam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo ho a ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, Charlie, Chance Spy, the promotion is here again. It's Samsung Eid Mubarak promo. This Eid Mubarak, Samsung is offering you good prices. It is time to gather your friends, interact, and get an original Samsung television starting at 2,999 Ghana cedis. Don't worry, Samsung television ranges from 32 inches, 40 inches, 43 inches, 50 inches, 55 inches, 65, 75, 85, 98 inches. Charlie, remember, quality lasts. Get yourself a Samsung booming soundbar at 2,899 Ghana cedis. Projectors, sound tower, sound bars, refrigerators, cooling plus, split ACs, washing machines, and many more. Visit any Samsung showroom near you. Samsung Eid Mubarak promotion. For more info, call 0242 439 437.
Hey, Yaba. Look, Kujo and I spoke about you the last time.
What about?
Oh, it was about your car insurance with
with Imperial.
Yeah.
It was a good experience.
Wow.
I even traveled with their travel policy recently. Now I am fully with Imperial.
Hey. Now, dear, Imperial is the name in insurance in Ghana here. Share for all your insurance needs: motor, engineering, fire, accident, marine, bonds. Come talk to Imperial and have that insurance experience that gives you smiles. Call us today on 0302 788 955 or 0577 667 436, or talk to your insurance broker or any of our agents nationwide. Imperial General Assurance. Solid protection.
Mothers are the backbone of our families, and they deserve to be celebrated every day. Join us for a day of love and appreciation of our cherished mothers with our very own Professor Elsie Efa Kaufman in an exclusive luncheon at our Sycamore Hall. Come, wine and dine with Ghana's favorite quiz mistress as we celebrate her accomplishments as a mother, a career woman, and a renowned academic. You can also enjoy our special Mother's Day buffet and live band music with Mom at our Baobab restaurant for only 350 Ghana cedi. But that's not all. Our beautiful resort has everything you need for a perfect getaway with your loved ones at exclusive rates. For inquiries and reservations, call 0540-125-554 or call 0540-125-555. Hedriase Valley Resort. Live life. This event is proudly sponsored by Gandour Cosmetics, Kamini Chocolate, Giddens, Pure Lono Skincare, and Eka Deca.
There are moments in life when you're just so scared and you feel like just giving up. Oh, but Dino Milk is saying, we know that you can do it. Believe in yourself and then go for it. Go for it. Nourishment, that is your Dino Milk.
Choose nourishment. Choose Dino Milk Whole Cow, your nutritious instant powdered milk.
Dino Milk. Go for it.
This advert is FDA approved.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
I from Kumasi, I come to Accra. If it deeper up, at the hustle to better my life. So I come you with TV, so no be so you there. I come you with TV, so no be so there.
There are travels and payments to make. Now they know that, so they are telling you to continue to make your payments with their fantastic 4 credit cards. Enjoy great discounts from partner merchants, cashback rewards, global concierge services, and access to over 1 million ATMs worldwide, while you stand a chance to win a 2-day staycation at Aqua Safari and other amazing prizes in the Tap for Easter and Beyond credit card promo. Just tap to pay, live the soft life. We got you. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. La Bianca Company Limited is at it again. They are supporting the local poultry industry and they are introducing Akoko Tasties, locally produced bread and slaughtered, and it comes freshly portioned in chicken breast, thighs, wings, backs, and gizzards. La Bianca is the sole distributor of Akoko Tasty. Find them at Tema. They're on the Fishing Harbour Road, Tema Newtown, opposite the NIB Bank. Call them on 0505 431 111 for more inquiries. La Bianca, your number one frozen foods company. Now, everyone is looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them to reach peak performance. Your car wants the same thing. That's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil, lubricant Munko Swahini. Whether you are cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. It's been designed with the best of things so that your engine is protected from wear and tear. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself.
Sky.
Yeah, more comments are coming in. Let's take this ones that are in so far. This one says, Bernard, I got 2,400 Ghana cedis on Saturday. Up till now, I don't know where the money passed.
Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, people can account for their money. It's a serious matter.
2,400 cedis on Saturday.
On Saturday.
And by Wednesday is finished.
Charlie, the whole thing, you can't find the money.
I mean, I don't know what you buy.
But Charlie, I strategically bought Gobert. You mean, Bobo or Yoke Gary? With plenty of Gary and 15 CDs around, for 15 CDs around 2 p.m. Ate and drank water throughout the rest of the day till I got to bed. People should try this. Yeah, our people say Bajiechi Hanado. Water gathers on a mud, right? So this one says, good morning, CBS. Normally, when I go to SNIT office, the place is full. But yesterday, when I went there, the place was almost empty. What's going on?
People are minding their own business.
I recently went to a bank that previously would have a lot of traffic. But when I got there, the place was virtually empty.
Virtual bank.
Virtual bank. They would say, I need 200 or 100 Ghana cedis to do this. They will start with, how are you? I need a favor. Immediately, I see how are you from the usual people. I don't reply. I don't even open the message info. And if I will open it, I'll put off my WhatsApp receipt so they don't see I have read it.
And we have to try this one. The WhatsApp receipt, please. How do we turn it off? Please.
Put on the black tick.
Please send us the blue tick. Send us the how to do it.
Disable the blue tick.
The blue tick. Yeah, that's right. Otherwise,
I've disabled that and the last scene crap. I disabled both.
This one says, welcome to our world. It's coming in from Mozart in Shaiman. This one said, good morning, Bernard. This thing about money, and how we spend it lately is so true. It's like the money has been disappearing.
No, it has a disappearing spirit.
It has a disappearing spirit. But when you calculate what you did with it, it will balance. It's coming from Manuel in Tema. This one said, whether school fees or real estate, sellers have an amount they want to charge to offset the cost. If forced to charge in local currency, all that will happen will be frequent or daily price adjustment. Now, the root cause isn't the seller. So this one is responding to the comment we made earlier about school fees and all of that being priced in US dollars. This one said, good morning, Bernardino. This is Blinka Komla from Medina. I don't understand how drinks that the ordinary Ghanaian will buy and drink are being taxed heavily, but luxury products like made in Ghana cars that mostly the politicians can afford are tax-free. What a country we live in. The country is doomed, he says. This one says, good morning, Bernard. Very soon, we will go back to Adam and Eve because we won't buy anything, only apples. Oh. It's coming in from Z. This one says, hello, Bernard and team. This flying prices of products is really overwhelming. Bernard, just before COVID struck, I bought 1 Olunka of maize for 4 Ghana cedis. And 1 Olunka of Gari for 5 Ghana cedis. As of yesterday, 1 Olunka of maize was going for between 20 Ghana cedis and 22 Ghana cedis. And 1 uluka of Gari is around the same price range. Yam is expensive, rice expensive, oil expensive, fish expensive, meat expensive, and vegetables and fruits are equally very expensive too. Even second-hand clothes, bruni wewu, and shoes are not affordable anymore these days. It's coming in from Kojo in Ayikuma. And this one said, good morning, Bernard. Please kindly find out from the BOG where the 200 Ghana cedi notes are.
Oh, they are there.
They're in the system, but if you know who money, you know go see them. Yeah, you need some proper money to be able to.
Let me bring the discussion home. So a lot of people who are complaining are workers. So let me ask the employer what is happening on the company side, because most of the person in the messages are people are saying my income is not enough. My income is not enough. Okay. So you, the guys who employ the people who also manage the business, how is it going? You laugh into capital letters.
I think that the money is not in circulation. Money is not in circulation. So there's something that has actually upset the chain of the way money flows in the system. And we now have what you, the economists, refer to as the vicious economic cycle, as opposed to a virtuous economic cycle. So vicious in the, low wages or inadequate remuneration, inadequate revenue, which impacts on affordability and ability to purchase, coupled with tax rises, forex increases or rate increases in a small country like ours, where the informal sector is larger than the formal sector, which means that the impact of policy has a funny way of affecting the informal sector, which cannot be controlled. So the policy is, let's slap on new taxes. If you slap on new taxes in a formal sector, you can manage how it affects the consumer. But in an informal sector, and an informal sector-driven economy like us, all they do is to pass on to the consumer. And that's exactly what we are seeing. All the taxes that came, the forex rates, foreign exchange rates, the high electricity rates and everything is passed on directly to the consumer, whose remuneration, salaries and wages have not seen a proportionate increment.
So let's develop that. So the point is, because the informal sector, the companies are very small, they are not able to absorb those shocks. So the only thing they do is to pass it on. So for example, if he imports wigs from China and the dollar rate fluctuates, he will need to get extra cedis to pay his supplier. So either his container will get stuck or he has to raise the price to raise enough dollars to bring the next consignment. So on that level, the informal sector point. What I wanted to ask was the vicious cycle. You use the word revenue and then remuneration. So are you saying that the companies are not getting new business, or the people who owe the company are not paying?
It's a combination of all. Contractors and service providers are not getting their payments regularly. In some cases, they are getting in parts. The real value of the money is whittled away because of the foreign exchange, mechanisms. Business is not flowing as it used to be, because of obviously where the macroeconomy has gotten to. You understand? So I am thinking that if we want to make progress, we should try and halt every economic activity that puts pressure on the dollar.
On the cedi.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, puts pressure on the cedi. I mean, every economic activity that requires that you have to utilize a foreign exchange before you consume. Because it's the only thing we cannot control.
But for me, the interesting thing is that within the past 2 or 3 months, the currency has actually been stable. You see, so it is stabilized around 11.
Yeah, but it's not as sensitive as you think. It's not as sensitive.
No, what I'm saying is that, you see, it's stabilized, but it's high. The exchange rate is high, but it's stabilized. Yeah. Should that not count for more predictability, and should that not make it less of a problem? Because prior to this, around October, November, the problem was that it was changing very quickly. But now, if you are somebody who's an importer of a product, you can plan and say plus or minus 11.5. So the stability, you see, because economists say that what makes the foreign currency thing problematic is the instability. But it's been stable,
generally speaking. But you have forgotten that that phenomenal increase in the rates last year caused so much damage to businesses, and they have to recover.
They have still not recovered.
They have not recovered. No, they have not recovered. I mean, if you imported plastics, in fact, coming to the Kumasi story, one of the reasons why soft drinks companies are having a hard hit is a cost of concentrates that they import. The concentrates that they import. So if, for instance, your last shipment, you imported concentrate at the 7 cedis to the dollar.
And now it's 11.
And now it's 11.
I mean, the whole business model is changed.
I mean, that's like 100% gone.
So it means your revenue has to change. You have to sell more to survive.
And you are not the government. You are a business. So if you did it the last time at, say, 7 cedis, you got that 7 cedis to the dollar, and now it's 11 cedis to the dollar. You can imagine the revenue loss.
And then the government also pegs the import duty to the dollar. In fact, when I looked at the import charges that the guy sent to me from the gift, almost all the major items are dollar pegged or dollar denominated. So it's like they want their dollar value of whatever you are buying. You pay the tax to the dollar value. You get it? So that's another problem. Then, of course, we in the service industry who depend on the companies that produce and want to then increase revenue by advertising, you also find that they start cutting their expenditure on that side. Then it affects the businesses. Then people who owe you to are not paying. So, and then the other problem is the statutory. So the government also, I used to say this during the COVID period that people were saying government should give companies a relief. I think the biggest headache for companies is the government taxes and the way they are even collected. In the sense of, it's like you owe the people money and they are demanding their money, and that is something that, whether it's their income tax issues or their VATs or their SNIT or all those, they call it statutory payments. Yeah. They've become a big albatross around the neck of a lot of companies, and they are not sure how to manage. And in the meantime, the macroeconomic environment is also not allowing businesses to grow. So how are the companies going to even make money to then pay these taxes that the government is asking for?
Whose model is this that every time, let's increase this tax, let's slap on this tax? Whose model is this?
Is it the government looking for money?
But
by
has
taxing
it been
the people
established that by throwing in more taxes, you get more money? People have always found a way of dodging these taxes.
They're actually taxing the people who don't have money. The people who have money are not paying the tax.
I mean, look at this situation. The Kumasi thing. I watched it last night on CNR, and I was very sad. The cost of sugar, they buy sugar in dollars.
So the sugar to import it?
Of course. I mean, soft drinks is 80% sugar. The cost of plastics.
Dollars.
The plastic bottles. Dollars. Concentrate for drinks. Dollars. The only thing we don't buy in dollars is water. But the water too, the chemicals that we use to purify the water is dollars. So each bottle of soft drink that you are holding, which you say was made in Ghana, has about 80% component that is based on the dollar. So this thing will continue like that. Informal sector, semi-formal manufacturing sectors, they get hardest hit when these tax changes happen. and they don't care. They will pass it on to the consumer. And that is what I refer to as a vicious economic cycle.
Now let's broaden the discussion, or rather let's do a case study. So there were very interesting scenes from Dansoman when angry Ghanaian traders stormed a so-called wig fair to scatter a Nigerian woman who was reportedly selling wigs to customers. Yes, a segment of what happened from the event.
Na yɛkɔ no hɔ yɛkɔtɔ no ɔsan de aba ɛna ɔsɛ ɔde yɛ reduction sales amom but anɔpɛ yɛba na ka yɛba abɛhwɛ ade a ɔwɔ display ni yɛba deɛ wa display ni nyinaa ɛnyɛ nwin papa ɛna ɔfrɛ no ɔhyɛke wɔ Instagram ne Facebook no mo ka sɛ yɛ human hair papa nti yɛ ka kyerɛ sɛ deɛ adverti wɔ wɔ Instagram no ɛnyɛ ɔno na wa display ni nti ɔnyi na ɔmfa papa no and display na Ghana for ntɔ sɛ Ghana for betimi atɔ price na ɔno ɔdo ato so no na yɛ ho
with that association mi wɔgye wɔyɛ mɔkɔla no tumo ni mami lɛbɛ tun wɔyɛ biɛ wɔfɛ no ekɔ wɔtun wɔyɛ maane mi ni wɔsi o maane mi ni wɔyɛ anago ni wɔawo jatsuɛ ni wɔba hɔn yɛ biɛ eka yɛ birthday eka yɛ fake gift eka yɛ fake neke na ewo wi gɛ kɛ anago no ne ko ba ko dan eka wo wi gɛ kɛ anago she kem ba bia ne ba hɔn kɔni kɛ gbe na ne ehewo customer sefe keke ko henie ba o number keke abo atale force atale ka o number selling strategy wo fe wole fe mo esi wo ma na mi bi ha wo ko ne afese anago.
Wherever you are coming from, you are a foreigner. We've allowed them to take advantage of every single opportunity as a citizens. Why? You came to our country in the name of exhibition. And you later on selling the thing, you later on doing retail to our customers that we are selling to them. We've paid taxes to develop this country. So should we allow such thing to happen? Are we defending the law? The law says a foreigner cannot do retail in Ghana. That is simple.
Once the person is here, she has got her setup, she has made sure she paid all the duties and everything to sell. For us to form a long queue to come and buy, then you come here. You have the guts to get all from your market and various houses to come here and stop them from selling. This is so bad. I'm a Ghanaian and then I'll state the fact. It's so bad. You don't do that. As a matter of fact, we are all one people. You are saying even though we can't go to Nigeria to sell, this is a business. You didn't have the strength or the good manners to do that. And somebody has come to that. You all were online and watching her. She came. And then you people are even funny. You buy from her. So you shouldn't even come out to disclose yourself to show that you buy from her. If it's me, I will never let you know I buy from her, and then I won't even waste my time to drive you.
Online, this night, this minute, I'll finish everything in this bed. Do you understand? Yes, I do week first just to reach out, just to see people. We have a lot of clients in Accra here, you guys. Okay, so what I'm just doing is to reach out. If it is to sell and make money, I will make money online. I came to Ghana to do my birthday. I've not posted my birthday party. That is why you are saying 40 and priceless. Do you understand? So it is not my business. I'll be honest with you. I can decide to shut down this venue and go back today. God has done it like that. I'm a medical doctor. Do you understand? In the US, not in Nigeria. Do you understand? I make money in dollars. I can survive with my medical money. Do you understand? Yes. That is why I can decide to crash the prices like this. And that is what their problem is. It is not my problem. So if you guys let them to shut the place down, we shut it down. They will shut it down. They will shut it down.
So those were some wig retailers angry with the Nigerian wig mogul. Now, let's bring you the reaction of the Wig and Hair Extension Dealers Association in Ghana, who are now saying that there's an influx of foreigners disregarding standard trade regulations on the Ghanaian market.
We are Wigs and Hair Extension Dealers Association of Ghana. Dealers in wigs, weave-ons, both human hair and synthetics. We're here this afternoon to address the influx of foreigners into our markets. And those, especially those who disregard our trade regulations. As you may well know, we pay the taxes, all our taxes. We have shop rents to deal with. We have workers to pay. And most of these foreign investors who come in evade most of these taxes. Now, as you may well know, at the moment, there's been an issue with a supposed investor from Nigeria who came in with the story of having a fair, an exhibition. As it turned out, it was not an exhibition. It was a clearance sale. Now, the laws do not allow a foreigner to go into retailing. If you want to go into retailing, you have to invest $1 million in merchandise, services, and so on. It has to be the equivalent of $1 million. And if you want to go into partnership with a citizen, you invest $200,000. If you want to do so, you invest $500,000. In this case, there was no such thing. We went there peacefully. The fair was coming on was at the Page Event Center only yesterday, the 1st of May. We went there peacefully to have discussions with this investor. We were trampled upon, and knowing what we're facing at the moment, electrical dealers are facing the same problem. Shoe dealers, same problem. Cosmetics, same problem. Gradually, it's trickling into the hair business, and we will not allow it. If you want to come and join us, you're most welcome. We do not have any problem with anybody from any country. We're peace-loving people. Ghanaians are known to love foreigners. We love foreigners. But we will not, and I say again, we will not have you destroy our businesses. Now, this lady we're talking about is a core customer in Nigeria. We all buy from the same source. We do not buy from her, as she's saying. No. She's not even, no, she's small in the hair business. The two of us buy from one supplier. Now, we do not understand why she should come in with the same supplier and do retailing. How does she expect us to sell? You tell me. How does she expect us to sell in this country? So we asked her to show every documentation. She rudely refused, insulted us, mounted a stage, and told us we could go to hell. We are not ready to go to hell. So we showed her exactly had to be done. Go back, do your homework, and come back. That was all. Now, there's stories going out. We're being insulted. We were expecting it. We know it's bound to come. But we want to tell everybody, up and coming businesses, when you get to where we have reached, you will understand. When you get to where somebody is pushing you out of your market, you will understand what we're going through. So we're here to address this issue. We welcome any foreigner who wants to do business in Ghana. If you want to come into the hair business as a foreigner, we welcome you, but take the right steps. We will not have you come and destroy our market. Whilst we are paying our taxes, you collect all your monies and leave us stranded in this country. So if you see us here now, we're here to address this issue. We're not at war with anybody. As it's going on social media that the war has just begun, we're not at war. What you just saw here is what we do at every meeting. So we're not at war with anybody. Thank you.
So that was Nanajwa Eninfo, president of the Wigs and Hair Extension Dealers Association of Ghana. It seems as if the wig situation is one microcosm of the bigger dissatisfaction among the trade community. You mentioned this yesterday. We didn't elaborate. What else do you know about what's going on with these people?
No, also, basically, Dr. Chi and Priceless Hair Business. For those who are followers of her accounts on Instagram.
The woman is called Dr. Chi.
Yeah. She's she's quite popular.
Oh, okay.
On
social media.
Yes. So a lot of people who purchase, wigs and know her. They purchase from her online. She sends it into Ghana. Sometimes she even does it like free delivery, free shipping. And all those things.
But does she live in Ghana?
No. She's based in Nigeria. So she's quite popular online. So I think this particular event had been pushed online. If you're quite regular on IG, you'd have seen her. She used quite a lot of influencers, like John Dumelo. She knows all those people. So they were all pushing the event for her. So it was an event that a lot of people were looking forward to. Like I had people in my inner circle who were all looking forward to
check out their wigs.
Yeah, this event. So... and if you looked at the crowd that showed up, obviously looked like a lot of people also knew what was going on and then decided to show up. And the fact that there was also a response from the official association from Makola should tell you just how much they saw this as a major event, something that could impact their businesses significantly. So in the end, they got there and made sure that...
They went to scatter the place.
Yeah, the thing didn't happen. And we've had the back and forth.
So they literally, on their own, the traders, they went to disrupt the event.
Yes. Wow. Now, as to whether it's a true victory or a symbolic victory or whichever, you heard the person who spoke on behalf of the association. That basically they've set the marker there. If you want to come into the market, come and do A, B, C, D. I don't want to go into the how right or wrong it is. I'm sure there are people who are much better informed about this than I am, But the thing is, the wig business in Ghana is big. Okay, I'm looking at the OEC data at the moment. Ghana is the third largest importer of fake hair in the world.
In the whole world?
Yes.
After who and who?
Yes.
Nigeria?
Yes.
And where?
At the moment, we're doing...
The third largest importer of fake hair.
Yeah, in 2021, Ghana imported 226 million in fake hair, becoming the third largest importer of fake hair in the world.
Dollars.
That's official OEC data. Yeah.
Hey, Charlie.
So Ghana imports fake hair primarily from China, Togo, Indonesia, Nigeria, and the US. 204 million from China, 21 million. We give to Togo $21 million from fake hair imports.
It means it comes through their ports.
It comes through their ports.
We bring
and then
it
comes here. Indonesia, Nigeria, and then the US.
But apart from Ghana, who else imports fake hair that much? It would probably be Nigeria.
Yes, Nigeria does significant importation of that. And the US is the largest player in the market.
They are the producer?
No. They import as well.
From where?
Other places around the world.
So US imports from Indonesia, China,
India as well.
India, Cambodia, Philippines. So when you move into the Cambodia, the Philippines, the Indonesia, then you are going into the human hair.
So it's real.
They harvest
Brazil,
people's hair.
Where there's a whole industry where they harvest hair and use chemicals to now put it in good shape. So you have Brazil, you have Cambodia, you have Indonesia. These are the hot spots for.
This is about $200 million for Ghana to import.
And that's real because the global hair business is a $2 billion business industry.
I think it's even bigger than that because I was just looking at a report and we're told that even in Africa alone is about $6 billion.
Hey, Africa,
yeah. And that China controls it. So the story is by Africans on China says how Africa's $6 billion hair market is.
Let me muddy the waters. Here we are complaining about economic hardship. The little economics I'm told, hair is a luxury product, right? So like if you don't have money, is salt and gari and beans that you have to be looking for to buy. But if you are spending 200 million on hair, it means you have a lot of money. There's a lot of disposable income to be buying such things. Or has human hair become a necessity for our women now?
It has become a necessity. I don't think
it's a necessity.
I don't think it's a luxury.
It's
not a necessity.
It's luxury. It's more. It's become a cultural issue. It's become a cultural issue. It's become a way of life.
Does that make it a necessity?
Well, it depends on how you want to express your personality. You understand? And it's in fact it's a market that is dominated in terms of the consumption by Africans and people and black people, if you like. Okay, about 90% is consumed by Africans and black people in America. You're not going to see a Caucasian going to buy, another white hair or, for the only other thing that people buy is an artificial beard.
But sometimes think about it though. Here
and China is topping the charts.
We have an economy that is struggling because of our exposure to the dollar. Where we buy, you were talking about drinks, you have to buy concentrate. So you are even talking about necessities that you have to import. And yet we still find over $220 million to import something which I consider to be a luxury.
Bernard, that's why I said there are cultural elements here. Go to the Eastern and Southern African places. I'm saying that. No, I'm not talking about tradition. I'm talking about culture, way of life.
As in, we've been influenced.
We've been influenced so much that it's become the way it's done.
How did they influence us? Was it media?
Through film, media. Through media.
Films.
Yes.
As they call films.
Go to the Eastern and Southern African places. A lady has a low haircut. And it's beautiful and it's acceptable. Yes. But come to West Africa. They want to find out whether everything is okay with you.
If your hair is...
Once you cut your hair, are you okay? Are you sick? Are you... This is it. And that's where the culture thing comes. So it's a very strong underpinning, which is a complete shift. You understand? Once the media stops showcasing that as the way life is expressed, look, Bernard, in the 70s and some parts of the 80s, bleaching by women was the way to go in Ghana. Because that's what they saw on television. But now it's gone down.
And it's the hair. It's the hair thing.
Moved to hair.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive.
So our preferences are adding to the worsening of our economic plight.
Exactly. We are creating businesses for people in other countries by consuming what they don't consume.
But and the hair pieces, they cost an arm and a leg.
That's why the Nigerian woman came here, because she noticed that people are slapping profit on the thing. So she came to undercut them.
And they got angry.
They got angry.
Let me read a message that I think can help us. Good morning, Bernard. This Ghanaian scoping thing does not make sense. Since March of 2022, inflation has been running currently at 50%. Depreciation has been running. Utility costs increased at least 2 times. Food prices have gone up. Taxes have gone up. And salaries stayed the same. So how are people not at the breadlines? My answer, pervasive corruption. We are just extorting from each other. In the short term, it works like a pyramid scheme. But in the end, it will collapse. Then you will start seeing chaos. This is a very doomsday angle to the discussion that if you listen to everything we've said, you would expect worse. You expect some social unrest, but it seems like Ghanaians are coping, and he's saying that some of it is because Obia Bu Obia. So the guy who's buying is adding something. The guy who's also so everybody is using other means to survive, and at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. You mentioned about the informal economy and how, because of its fragility, if you increase any of these things, the pass-through effect is very, very high. But maybe that informality is also what prevents the system from collapsing. In the sense that the informality, you can go and borrow something small. People are helping each other. So it's also an advantage. Because if you live in a Western country which is very formalized, and you were running on the kind of incomes you run on, you probably need food aid. But in Ghana, you will get some food to eat. So maybe we shouldn't diss
It's a shock absorber.
Yeah, so what I wanted to suggest is that we shouldn't diss, and I'll come back to the issue, we shouldn't diss our informality too much. Because you see, you've lived in a Western world. If your money reaches a certain stage, and they haven't paid you, your heating can even go. But here, somehow, people come to work, they get some kenke to eat. somebody lends him. So there's a lot of family support and things that, even though things are tough, at the end of the day, people survive. So we shouldn't over criticize the informality.
We will not. It's just trying to look at the negative elements of the informal system. Bernard, Ghana wouldn't be the only country in Africa with a large informal sector. Kenya used to be like Ghana, but they have managed to a large extent to formalize the informal sector without losing the very elements that define the informality, like what you just talked about. The average informal trader in Kenya will be able, at the press of a button, to calculate their earnings within the week on their phone because of because of M-Pesa. So I'm just saying that there are different degrees of the formality I'm talking about. It doesn't mean that everybody should dress formally and, but it's the processing of business.
I'm even talking about informality in the sense of how, in a formal structure, a lot of you are registered properly. A lot of your transactions are known and taxed. So there are so many things you cannot do because the system is aware of you. Your identity is there. Your tax record is there. Your location is known. So a lot of the costs are fixed. Here in our sector, people are very itinerant. So he's selling thing here today, he moves to another place. So even the IRS can't get him. He hasn't registered the thing properly. He's getting some income because he wants to hide that money. He will put it into another account. All of those things are the informality. That's what I'm trying to say. So informality is where the system doesn't know you and recognize you and therefore tax you fully. That's how I see informality.
Yeah, but that's bad.
But I'm saying that because the system doesn't also provide a lot of support for the populace, that informality is how they survive. Because the system doesn't. I'll give you an example. When I'm in the UK, if Saturday they can open a market, in the middle of the street, they bring up the stalls, they set out the market from 8 o'clock. By 4 p.m. they close. By the time they close, they've cleaned the street. The place is neat. You can walk again. So the local authority creates opportunity for the people to even sell their goods. Here you have to hustle to sell. So you go and sit at Mokola, they come and chase you. There's no structure where the local assembly even decides to manage the street. That's the thing. So our local assemblies are doing police and thief with the retailers.
Look,
meanwhile, in some
go to Moving Pick Hotel in front of Moving Pick.
They've taken over
on a Saturday.
Oh, is it not Saturday alone?
Dawn. I'm talking at dawn. You would think there's a gospel crusade there.
People
don't know from 5 a.m. And I noticed this when we're doing the
back to the bazaar.
When we're doing the setup.
Yes.
I'm like, what's happening?
You thought there was some fire.
People. And I'm asking, seeing this is an opportunity for the local authority, local assembly. That why don't you now determine that on Sundays where there's no traffic, we will create a street market and charge them 1 cedi each. We just say 1 cedi each. You get me?
Yeah.
And announce for people who fear traffic
to come
and
buy
and consume. Why aren't we doing that? Everybody is sitting at church on Sunday, then Monday they'll come and steal again.
Yeah.
This is a vicious cycle.
That's what you're saying.
So why can't we learn?
Because the assemblies are not thinking.
Whether they are the mandates, they are allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sometimes they are.
Sometimes because
you can look.
They have economic plans and things.
So we can block a street for funeral, Kojima,
but we can't block a street for selling
party.
Yes.
But we can't say that these traders need a place. Yeah. And look, we say unemployment. Me and you can decide that every weekend I will go to Prankese and go and bring Bodier, and then we can pitch my tent somewhere and sell Bodier to so and so and so. If, for instance, you have the children's park lying down there every weekend, the things there.
Didn't you do a bazaar for 2 days and get almost 200 vendors?
That's what I'm
didn't
saying.
Over 30,000 people come. And I'm saying that the assemblies, Amisha, because the example you just gave, and you don't even need to be in Accra. You can do it in Tema. You can do it in Taifa, where you know that, and that's even a way of registering the businesses. You see, the reason is that the governance at the top gives people free money, so they don't have to earn anything. If you are running an assembly and you don't have money, and
you have to come up with money.
You have 800 people who retail food in your constituency. If you say on Thursday you open a market for them, come and register for 1 cedi, and I will drive traffic to them and buy your food, so that when we finish, we will use the proceeds to clean the place. But because of that, people are going to pay money they don't have for shops in situ. Nobody's coming, so you go and pay rent and have some 2x4 shop. But if the assembly is smart, they'll say, let's create a market, let the people come and buy and sell, and then when we finish, we'll clean up the place. People will not go and spend little money to be renting shops. So the business model is not working. But I'm back to the hair extension. So Vivian, you people say the economy is hard. You people say the Ghana, you are spending $260 million every year to import fake hair.
Oh, Sky, why?
No, Sky is scandalized.
He's scandalized because Sky is the one that likes the natural hair thing. Or Sky.
Oh yeah,
you want to blame the
man because I know Sky's taste. He likes the natural hair. But
has this always been the case? Let me ask you. Let me interview you. Has this always been when you were in secondary school and you were storing your hair at Accra Girls? Mm-hmm. But I thought when you finish, you would then go and do your own hair. So at what point did the wig thing come?
It's always been there. When I was in secondary school, my big sisters had their hair extensions. I'm not sure my mom really did the hair extensions.
So it is more the generation of you people.
Stretching, yeah. So it probably started.
So use the hot comb to pull
she would do the hot, and then the Jerry curls and all that. By my generations and maybe 10 years ahead of me would do.
Why it was more difficult to sit under the that thing that
whether we like it or not, it's difficult to manage. It was difficult to manage our natural hair. Now it's better. There's so many products you can use to manage your hair, so you can comb it easily and all that. But at the time, it was difficult to manage it.
When it grows to a certain level, it becomes difficult to comb.
To comb, like when your hair grows as much, you see, it's difficult to comb.
The comb is not working.
Yeah, and then also, we were given the impression that you look much prettier, whether we like it or not. That
so now you are bringing the thing home.
Oh, yes. The impression. No, you look at the movies, you look at the magazines, the front pages of the magazines.
Talk to me.
The pictures you see every day are people with long hair,
blue eyes,
slim
body,
fair, and all that. Yes. That's what's led to the bleaching. That's what's led to people wanting to, have the long hairs, because the impression is that for the men, that's what is nice. And in general, that's the beautiful thing.
So how much does an average... No, I want education. No, I want education now.
I think we must also ask, is there a necessity question?
Or
we spoke about whether it was a
necessity,
or a necessity.
At the time, when I started doing hair, when I started doing extensions, I was doing it because it was difficult to manage my hair.
So like the dryer and those things.
And all that. And I'm not a fan of going to the salon. Anybody who knows me, I don't have time.
So is it easier for you to do?
It's easy for me to do the wig caps. There's a difference. You can do the weave on. The weave on, they braid under your hair
and then they fix it. How long does it take to do that?
Oh, if you have a good person, she can do it within an hour or two.
But the wake up is on they'll
measure your hair.
No, but I'm trying to
look at why.
So you are saying that.
If you kept her hair,
wait. Yes. So Vivian is saying that because you don't have time. So you prefer the one that is ready made.
It's ready made.
Put it on your head.
So the lady who does my hair, she's got the measurements and all that. So I could call her anytime. Charlie. So I'll choose the hair I want, the type I want.
Yes.
If I want it dyed or whatever, she'll do everything, fix it. When I get there, now we have the it's done in a way that they can just trim it to fit your hairline and everything. It looks so natural.
So do they connect it to your hair?
No, it's a cap. They are different. There are some who will glue to it. Some the new ones, the modern ones, they don't need to glue or anything. It will fit perfectly.
What are the price ranges?
Oh, it depends. If I want good hair, it can go about 10,000 cedis. Yes, no more boy. Yes.
10,000 per what?
For the full thing.
Head.
No, so the thing you are wearing now, how much does it cost?
This one cost me like 3,000, and this is like 4 years ago. Oh, you have to stay and then increase my salary. It doesn't look good.
Hold on.
You think it wasn't my hair?
No, guys, hold on. 3,000 cedis.
Yes.
So how long?
For the weave, this I've had it. I got it like 3 years.
Oh, so it lasts that
yes,
long?
you see, when you go for the good ones.
COVID.
Oh, Samuel, why are you
When
doing
things
that? My
were
husband is listening. What is this?
So this one, so it lasts you for 3 years.
Yes, if you get
a good one.
If you get a good one, it can last you for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
So the cheaper ones will rather spoil
within
fast.
a few months, or
So
they shrink and
so let's
become
spread
funny.
this 3,000 over 3 years. Then that's not that much.
Yes.
Because over 3 years, you went to the salon every 2 weeks.
I won't even go to the salon. I can wash my hair and everything.
If you were doing normal salon visits
Yes,
without this,
yes.
it will probably cost the same.
Yes.
But don't you feel strange wearing somebody else's hair?
Oh, is it somebody?
Is it-
It's
that's not
mine. I
human
bought
hair.
it my own hair. My
No,
own
but
money.
it's not human hair.
for somebody. It's mine.
Wait, isn't it?
That's how you should see it.
Wait, isn't it human hair?
You see, the human hair is not really the real human hair. We can't afford it. Let me tell you guys. Yes. The real, this thing about human hair, the real human hair, this one, they're actually high grades of synthetic whatever. They are manufactured.
So the human hair,
real
no?
human hair, we can't afford. That's thousands of dollars. You can't afford.
Right, does it feel different?
Yeah, it's real hair, and
No,
they've
you see,
processed it to and dyed it to.
No, but aren't you
there are
afraid?
different grades of the human
Moko,
hair.
you try and look for each one.
There are different grades of the human hair,
yeah.
which at times are integrated into the artificial.
So that it makes it more supple and
So
easier
you
to.
can have the composition and say this is
20% human, yeah.
hair.
But I'm back to the
But
interview.
100% human hair is.
There was a question on the
Then
table.
you don't
There was a
even
question,
want
there was a question
that.
on the table that is it a necessity, and you are saying that for convenience
For me.
and over time it's not that expensive, but still,
Yeah.
if you didn't have money and you were cutting, hair will obviously be the first place you cut, or for women
Oh, no,
beauty.
you need to look good. What are you saying?
Hey.
You need to look good.
This is the point I
You
was
need
making.
to look, guys.
Did
Stop
you
it.
hear her? It says, I need to look good. So her imagery of looking good now includes the wearing of the
This
wig.
hair. So they
But
created.
guys-
no, hold on, no, we are not debating.
I know.
No, he's making a point.
I
And
know.
you have actually established the reasons. Media.
It also, guys, it's not just media. It's also like essential commodities. So they create the demand by letting you feel that you need it. So, for example, during the time you were children in school hungry, the so-called essential commodities were also part of. It's like you need milk, you need tinapa and things. So if you don't have those things, Charlie, you are not made.
But guys,
And so
you
I'm
guys
coming.
have to also go.
No,
Don't make.
no.
You also have to go to the barbers.
Oh,
No,
we are not
don't
going
try.
there. I'm
We
changing
have
the
to
discussion.
go
Can
there.
buy wig.
You don't buy, but you need to get a haircut.
But haircut is
about
but
Relax,
Nick's haircut
relax,
15
the
cedis,
relax.
10
amount
And that's
that
because
the
that's a
government
price.
uses to
Import.
wigs.
Yes,
That's the
that's
conversation.
fair. We need to look at the industries here who have collapsed, who are also doing
And
the
the
wigs.
effect of
That's
the
a
dollar.
different, discussion. But I'm saying that don't make it look like it's not a necessity where you have to go and get your hair
we are not
done.
even saying
we need
that.
to get our hair
But the
done.
point I'm trying to make, which I wanted to make to you guys, is that the state of our economy today is a function of our desires and
That's
our
right.
appetites for food, for drinks, for clothes, for hair.
Yes.
Now, so long as the depictions of what is appropriate, what is delicious, so even chicken, KFC, it's the same thing. My kids, let's go and fry yam and eat. They say they don't like, but they say they want KFC and fries. Why? Because that one, the potatoes is from somewhere, it tastes different. I say, I fried yam.
How did they know that?
That's my point.
You
So,
told them that.
so I'm saying that, but the media is the tool that they use. But the real issue is somebody creating market for his goods. So he creates the markets by using the media to let the person believe that this tastes better.
Because
So,
they're
I'm
able to
coming. Another
market
one.
it
When you
properly.
This guy,
the
you go
we'll
in.
solve all our problems.
You go in. I'll give you an example. Saturday, we want to do rice water. We have Tom Brown, we have wheat that we have boiled. They say they want Cocoa Pops. I said, what is Cocoa Pops?
Yeah.
Now,
that's what they
it's
see on
media.
their
and
cartoons.
I'm coming. It's part of this. So they start and say,
Cartoons
oh,
and all, that's what they
the
see.
Cocoa Pops is convenient. So they are going to school. They've woken up late. When you want to do normal cocoa, it will take you maybe 15 minutes. The Cocoa Pops, you can just pour the milk. So it starts as convenience. Then it becomes taste. So now you tell your kids on Saturday morning that you are drinking rice water. I don't like rice water. I want cornflakes. I want Rice Krispies. I want Frosties.
Imagine.
Yeah, that's
You know,
what they see.
When we were younger,
Famous,
we used
famous.
to do, in Chile.
I was in Chile.
Yeah.
In Chile,
Yes.
You don't chew it?
No. What's that?
Oh,
He only knows that.
You fry this thing. Abele. The corn, you fry the hard one.
Chew it. I know what you are doing.
Fry the thing.
We call it zoklali.
Yeah. And at times, you put the how you call it? You put the ash, then you put salt inside, then you put it inside, then it will make yellow.
Yeah.
Then you load your pockets here and here.
And you carry coconut. You add some
and then you add coconut.
Yes.
Then you chew.
Chew and go.
Chew and go. That's all we
But
need.
I want to come back to something you said about media. And see, I want to just push back and say, the media is also in a difficult position because the advertisement is reducing. And the person who is prepared to advertise is selling something that in the short run solves a person's problem. But in the long run, create a certain demand and a taste that then makes people subject. So it's everything. So all the kids want to eat pizza. All of them want to eat KFC. All of them want to eat Cocoa Pops because they advertise using billboards and they come on the media. All right. Now, the other point is that we are growing. We go and buy, what do you call it? Abele Mamu. And you do Tom Brown. They say they don't like it. Because you have created an image that Abele Mamu Tom Brown is not sexy. So they should eat. Do you understand? And we too, the people who are doing the Tom Brown, they don't have money to advertise. Right? But that's what will save your economy. Because if all of us can grow what we eat, we'll all be fine. But we've created a system where they will come and tell you that eat this one. And we too, we need the business. So that my point is that it's a very complicated situation of creating a desire and a taste in a citizenry that makes them become enslaved to a system to look for dollars that they don't have. Okay, so it's not just the hair, it's all the things.
Bernard, you see, let me expand this media conversation. And I'm not talking about traditional media like what we are doing. I am talking about film. I'm talking about outdoor. I'm talking about display boards. I'm talking about magazines. That's what I'm talking about. Look, a country like France has benefited mostly from media than any other country in the world, including America.
That they are like some Paris,
I'm telling you, they
some
have used media to paint a picture. Anytime you talk about lifestyle,
they've romanticized.
You talk about Paris, you talk all through media, and they
are very deliberate.
Purpose.
Style with
the only country that is competing with them is the USA.
Yeah,
and even though they are beating them, and I'm saying that it's somebody's design that let's use media to capture the attention of these people. So when they are doing, people actually work their way into Hollywood to make sure that they create a new culture of lifestyle.
All right, but let's
the products and services that they.
I agree, but I'm saying that you are in an economic difficulty now where things are tough. Is this not the best time for you to make the necessity argument and change your taste as a country? So there's dollars. We are not getting dollars. And most of the things we import, we use dollars. So is this not a good time? We said this during COVID, that now you have to look for local substitutes. And when you push those local substitutes well enough, like back to the village food bazaar, people will develop the taste for it. And once there's the taste for it, then there's the demand. And once there's the demand, then the people can produce. Because if you produce, say, achomo, or you produce whatever, if there isn't enough demand for it, it doesn't make business sense. So if you create a platform during COVID or something to say, look, we can't import rice. Nigerians eat local rice and don't even consider it to be wrong tasting. So a lot of Ghana's economic problems is because of our manufactured tastes. And when there's an economic challenge, instead of us saying that, Charlie, things are tough, let's go back to basics, we rather find a way of circumventing the system and still maintain. Do you understand? Because now we are eating yokagari. The queue is long. I'm thinking that this is the best time for us to aggressively push it so that people will now develop their taste for their own food.
Bernard, you see, on this very show, I said before that, look, if I was in government, I'll take the unpopular decision of banning hair extensions in this country.
You cannot do that.
No,
you think when you finish, I'll react to that.
As an example of other things to ban. Let him finish.
Because Bernard, Bernard,
you are picking on the women.
The history, the science, the necessity argument, everything put together. and all the materials that I've read in the course of my doing of international trade and maritime law, it doesn't support the argument of necessity.
Good morning, Naira.
International trade and maritime law.
Bernard.
Mrs. Sky. You missed the call.
Does your wife use it?
No, I insist that she should, but every now and then.
You see something. You don't control everything.
Oh, but Naira, even if she doesn't use it, she looks the part. So.
Let's go on.
Bernard, and you see, I have made a deliberate decision that, look, you are not going to extend things like that to the children.
In terms of the hair thing.
Because, Bernard, it is a question of identity.
Yes, please.
Have you seen a white woman sitting in a shop somewhere trying so hard to look like a black person?
No, I have an answer for you. Somebody said...
Why do men use extensions?
Yes, they said somebody said...
They do.
No, they say
look like a
the
black
white
person.
also use a lot
them
of fake hair and wigs. And also to make their hair look fuller.
You see,
it's not so much as blacks, but it is normal for them as well.
Oh, Bernard. Bernard, no.
But the biggest market is for black.
Oh, yeah.
Bernard.
About 90% is for black.
Bernard,
But the white women use wigs.
Bernard, let me develop my point.
Go ahead.
In a country where we are struggling with so many things, we need so much dollar to import drugs we do not have.
Yes.
We need so much dollar to import essential products we do not have.
Yes.
The little that we get,
yes,
we are using it to import fake hair that we actually do not need in this country. Let me read a material.
Who told you don't need it?
What is the necessity argument that is made for?
No, but Sky,
I don't need
Sky,
to
wait, aren't you making a
explain
mistake
to you
in the
why I
sense
want
that
to.
you are making a mistake in the sense that this is not official government money importing hair.
Private money.
I'm coming. The government imports things that it uses to do things. So people's personal aspirations in demanding fake hair should not be the focus of your policy. Your policy should go to what government says, I'm going to do parliament chairs. And the government carries Ghanaian taxpayers' money to go and bring chairs from a foreign country. That is wrong. But if a Vivian wants to buy hair with her own money, I don't think that's the problem.
Why? Let me give you a classic example.
I'm listening.
Why is it that many people in Ghana are against gay and lesbian practices?
Okay, Choje.
It is a question of the culture of the people.
That's a different...
No. You see, it might seem extreme and insane, but you see, we have an identity as a people.
So you want to now tell women how they should look?
Exactly. What is this?
No, you see,
they want to feel free and look the way they want to look. So you want to... Sky, what I'm saying, I see, law is not the answer here. What the answer here is, Sames has told that the thing...
Can you allow me to just...
because you are on the wrong premise.
Yes, you cannot dictate to us. You cannot dictate to us what to do with our hair.
I'm saying that of all the things you import into Ghana, sugar, clothes,
women's hair.
phones, why is it the first thing you want to ban is women's hair?
Bernard, I've not said, you see, we are making argument based on the context of what we're discussing. Yes. I have expressed my views on Obroni Wewu.
Okay, so it's not like women's hair is the number one.
No.
Okay,
I'm talking about
women's hair.
Today, we are discussing women's hair.
Any average listener of Citi FM knows my attitude towards Obroni Wewu.
Okay.
Many other things that we have talked about on this
because
platform.
of the context,
we are speaking about human hair.
Please go ahead.
And artificial hair. And I am saying that in my view, it is one of the worst disservice we do to this country.
Yes.
Continuing to import these things into the country and argue that it is a necessity that we must always meet. Let me read a material from you for someone who has written a brilliant article. And in concluding, this what her name is Nedra Roan.
Sounds like an Indian.
Yeah, she was previously into this hair extension, blah, blah, and eventually saw the light. And this
no, as the producer.
I can't sit here.
No, let's explain. This person was a producer, not a user.
Now has seen the light. What the rest of us we are darkness. Sky, no, that's not fair.
Okay, Sky.
No, you need to
withdraw it and move on.
Withdraw and move. Sky, withdraw and move on. You can't say see the lights. What do you mean by see the lights?
Learn from the seniors.
I'm
the speaker. I said withdraw and move.
Withdraw it.
I'll ask you.
Let's make progress.
I am saying that people who are of black origin, who still see the white person's hair as how they should look ideally in the black society, in an African society.
But we can say the same about military.
Wait. Let me make the argument, right?
I'll finish it.
You what you are wearing, is it African?
Hold on. You understand?
Yes.
Who still do that? Yes. I believe, with the greatest respect to everybody who still wears that, that they are in darkness. And let me read this matter. I was telling you about. As a black woman, hold on.
No, we can extend this to
No, you see, no, hold on. Why don't I support Agbozumewu vet?
Because they don't exist. They've been relegated.
Hold on.
I have to place at Agbozumewu vet. Don't do that.
Stop that. But Bernard, wait. Let me make the argument.
I'm harassed.
Why you are just
I'm filibustering.
You have interest in this matter.
He's being real. You are being unreal.
You didn't interrupt her.
No. You all of you interrupted. But you are out of order.
I am reading this article. Allow me. As a black
out of order.
Okay. As black women, our hair is our crown.
Yes, please.
But increasingly, it feels like the joke is on us.
Oh, Lord, please.
It's problematic that our society encourages black women to literally go about to chase an ideal so that we are permanently purged of the exact symbol of femininity we are chasing. When it comes to beauty, for me, it always comes back to the daughters. As mothers, we constantly ask ourselves, what is a helpful practice for our daughters? I want to see my daughters learn to define their beauty and their self-esteem in a manner that is unattached to their hair. Mentally and physically, weave reinforces the idea that who we are is not enough.
Okay.
I would ask myself, what guidelines exist around save weave practices?
Yes.
How young is too young to start a weave? How many years are too long to wear one? If she starts as a preteen, will she be bald by the time she is 8:30? Right now, no one is asking or answering these questions. Let's bring some light to this issue instead of hiding the truth. And you know, in this article, I reviewed this article some time ago. In this article, she spoke about the dangers of wearing.
So she used to be a user of.
Exactly.
Is she what is she, black woman?
Yeah, she's of Indian origin with black ancestry.
Ancestry.
Yeah. And what emerged from this article was that look, a lot of women in the US, about 44% or more of them, according to this article,
women of color,
were losing their hair to alopecia and some other infections as a result of too much dependence on artificial hair.
Not even the chemicals to stretch their hair.
Exactly. You see, if you have a woman who wears these things consistently, you should try and approach them often. They almost always, to a large extent, begin to have problems.
It's not true.
The research is there. I'm not
a woman wearing it. What are you talking about? This is a clear case here. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about research. I'm not talking about your matter. I'm talking about
research based on what? The person you are using for the research are women, and there's a woman sitting say the guy is out of order, and they are saying that the women who wear wigs, you should approach them because they go through all that. And I'm sitting here. I have worn wigs for what? Have you seen? What are you saying?
Let's Skyland.
Stop this.
Skyland.
Oh, I am reading.
Can you direct to address to the church?
Okay. Brother,
you
see, I'm reading from publicly available material, and I can give you the source.
When you finish, what's happening to me?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll tender evidence.
So the Atlanta Journal Constitution.
Okay.
It is a legal article. Richard.
Okay. 19 what?
The bald and the beautiful.
Okay.
Black women need to get real about hair weaves.
Nice one.
It was published in 2017.
Oh,
and so when I say
recent.
Yeah, that's right.
You reviewed it?
Yeah, during my LLM.
Oh, you big man.
Oh, Bernard, I just don't talk.
No problem. Go ahead.
And Bernard, and I'm saying that when you look at this article, she spoke about the medical health problems that come with wearing wigs.
consistently it creates problems. Hair growth, problems emerge. And many dermatologists have been interviewed in the media about how these things impact in the long term your hair growth and the related issues you face. And I'm saying that, look, it is easy for our women to argue that, look, it is difficult to manage the African hair. Long before the white man brought her hair to Ghana, our Africans were managing their hair. Our great-grandmothers, great-grandfathers were managing their hair. They were not using weave-ons. They were not using these things as to symbolize the new image of the African woman. They were managing their hair. When I was growing up, my mother had someone they call Sister AC, who would come to the house. She will come, wash her hair nicely with yokumi, and you know yokumi, right? Shea butter, and they will use some thread to tie it, remove it, and it's natural. And they do the corn roll or whatever it is. They do it nicely. No artificial addition and all of that. Subsequently, then there was this emergence of pole clairs, all kinds of clay. And then my mother started, what do you call it? There's some white cream be like that. They will put it in.
Yes, Claire is not the hair one.
Whatever. I mean,
Pemming cream.
I'm not actually.
So when you are making your point,
I'm not in the space. So
Pemming cream.
You were telling us that what happened.
Pemming cream. And she started doing that. And as a child, it had an impact on me because as kids during Christmas, we saw that. We saw what she was doing, and many other people in my village saw it as the status symbol that you need to have curly hair. So I remember that during one Christmas, I went to collect this.
The things in front of her.
That's right. And I put it in my hair. Bernard, I nearly lost the skin on my hair.
That's why the hair they shine like that.
I nearly lost my
in copying your mother blindly.
Because eventually my mother saw the hair, the light that I was talking about. And now you wouldn't see my mother using artificial hair for anything, or she has cut. So you know what the people call Davi. But what I'm saying is that, look, it is a question of identifying who we are.
Yes.
Look, women cut their, as Samen said, you go to Southern Africa, they cut their hair down nicely.
But that's what their society has created.
You see, that is why, governments are in place to change people's attitudes towards certain things.
But is this a government job or we in the media, all of us? Because I'll just explain to him that it's not a government who's told people to do
it is on all of us. In my house, I am insisting that, look, you're not coming to wear wigs for my kids.
But it's because you have more money. By the time when the financial thing...
No, hold on. No, you see, when you inculcate certain things in the children, when they grow, they don't leave it. But that's what the Bible says.
There are two things here, though. And I'm saying that today, yes, you are not picking on women because today's a weak discussion. But I'm saying that you can say the same for many things.
That's true.
You can say same for football team support.
That's true.
You can even say same for the wig you wear when you go to stand in front of the
Supreme
Court. But there's a point. When you go to the Supreme Court, don't you wear white wig and stand there?
Is that African? Is that African? Double standard.
I have Bernard, you see.
You wear white wig and go stand there.
Bernard, you see. Look, if I have let me make it. If I have my way, there's no reason why in Ghana we should be wearing that thing.
But she doesn't have a wig.
Hold on. She has.
I have my way, and
no, because maybe ninja like.
I have chosen to use the wig because of convenience. And Sky can change my mind.
No, you have the floor.
Let me make an intervention. I disagree with Sky.
Go ahead. Deal with him for me. Deal with him for me.
When you finish dealing, then I add mine. Then we finish him. I said, you're wearing wig and you're talking about wig.
I disagree with him in a couple of points.
Yes.
I can understand him in a couple of points as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so I can understand his personal bias for the look.
Yes.
But I think that his reference to the research is a bit one-sided in the sense that it ignores where hair has come from historically. Hair extensions and braiding. If you look, when a woman braided their hair. There are several African cultures I can quote to you that made use of hair extensions as far back as DC, not AC or as DC.
Egyptian period and all that.
You understand? All the way down. Okay,
don't
so
it
is. No, don't worry, it's not a problem.
Let's just balance the view. I'll allow him to talk. I'm not. I've made my point.
But he's coming.
Lock him up. He picked him. Let his phone.
Collect his food. Don't bring him back here. Okay, so there's always been that.
Yes.
Okay, so I think to say that this is a Western creation is purely inaccurate. I think the wig wearing even has, yes, there are Western connotations, but if you go through certain aspects of certain cultures, you would realize that there've always been aspects of also allowing the hair to be treated in certain ways. Now, the situation we are discussing is not just about wigs. So Vivian spoke about extensions. So the cornrows, there are those who use natural braids. There are those who also like to use the extensions to make it long.
Your coat was landed.
Yes.
Yeah, I
There
want
is-
your God to come in.
No, bro. Can enter the system. There is room. There is space for that, and it's always happened.
Yes.
But I also think that what Sky has not made allowance for. Okay, what Sky has
Not made allowance for.
Go.
what Sky has not made allowance for is the evolution of places. So he spoke about his mother and what she used to do with her hair. That was 60, 70 years ago.
Charlie, time passed.
I'm sure the weather would have changed a bit.
Yes.
Where his mother lives.
Even diet has changed.
Diet has changed. A lot of things have changed. Okay. So the things that impacted his mother's hair
cannot be
back
the
then
same.
are not the things that will impact his daughter's hair today. They are two different things. It will require a certain kind of care, which is also not cheap. Because you are buying certain kinds of oils.
Yes.
You are buying certain kinds of creams.
The shea buttons.
Okay, all those things cost
In
money
fact,
too.
Lydia Forsen brought me some for hair growth.
You understand?
Kinky waves or kinky something.
But here's the thing:
kinky matters.
you have a problem with the wig, but I have a problem with shine your hair from China that they are putting in your daughter's hair to make it shine. Because it is not only Nkuto they are putting in your daughter's hair.
It's true.
They are putting other things that come from other places in your daughter's hair to keep it natural. That natural look, all the things you are doing are not coming from here.
No.
Good.
Okay. So there is
You
also
have to
that.
admit that too.
Yeah, you must also admit those things. I also look at it from the perspective of the necessity, and that's why I actually asked that Vivian come down. Okay, because when you did the calculation, you would realize that
Charlie,
at a certain point, it might actually for
it
them
adds up. Because if you
it
have
adds up.
3,000 and you kept it for 3 years,
Yes.
maybe she has 2 of them.
Yeah.
If you go to the salon once a month, it's almost the same.
And then the final
If you
point
match the math
I'll make
over
on
time.
this, dealing with the consensus of Sky on your hair will break and this and that. I think that has to do with who's handling your hair. Now,
And
some
what is
people,
what is
some
input
people
there?
braid and they braid really tight at the roots.
The roots. You can even have natural hair and your hair will still break.
Due to certain
it.
things. You go through
Send
different
it,
things.
send it to me.
Okay.
So your verdict is that even though my main argument, which I sort of premise, is that
Yes.
our economic circumstance is premised primarily on our tastes.
Yes.
For food,
Which can be shaped. I
yes,
agree.
and I use KFC, I use Cocoa Pops,
Yes.
I use Indomie, I use hair extensions, I use Chelsea. They are all related.
Yes.
So it's not just so we have to discuss it from the perspective of when you are in a situation like COVID or in an economic recession, because changing taste is not easy.
Yes.
So what can you start cutting back and replace with domestically so you can be free? Because in a sense you are a slave.
Yes.
You are a slave to your own taste. The taste that has been created that if you don't eat pizza, it means you are not a human being. That if we say you should eat achomo, it means that it's not nice. And your child says you won't eat rice water, he's crying that he wants to eat Cocoa Pops. So it's something we need to discuss from that economic perspective. So it's not even
But
a
you
cultural
remember-
issue
You
alone.
remember a conversation we had about food where I told you that there was a time back about 10 or 15 years ago where the Kenyan government had a problem with the lack of Kenyan traditional food in their diet and picked 20 with they sat down with nutritionists and picked 20 meals that they figured that, okay, how do we work this into what we eat? Because I lived in Kenya for 3 years. The vast majority of the informal populace, they wake up, they eat their ugali, their lentils,
chana.
and as for the sliced tomatoes and onions, it goes with everything. I've forgotten the name.
It's an
accompaniment.
It's like
for,
their gravy.
Yes, it goes for everything. No, it's not even like gravy, but it's there. Okay, and they found ways of reworking that back into the
system.
orientation.
Because the advert and the Western people were taking over.
Yes, so you go to the mall, the way you will see sugar. Sorry, the way you see Cocoa Pops is the way you see ugali flour.
Right.
It's there.
But we have fufu powder now. We have some Tom Browns.
But fufu powder is not a staple the way ugali is a staple.
I get you. So there was a conscious effort to make convenient what was local to them.
Yes, and
put it in a way that will not
aggressively.
Because here, like when we went back to the village, most people said there are a lot of the things they came to eat. They don't get it anywhere.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because we have not. Then that means that then there's also a question of research and adding marketing to the things that we really want to push. I think that's where the issue is.
Yes.
Because our foods are very artisanal.
Yes.
And they take time to prepare. There's a science to it, even though we don't realize it's very technically savvy. You need to.
So you do a cooking show. So it's not very easy to. For example, I like apaprensa a lot. I haven't eaten it a lot because it's very difficult to prepare. So I only get it to eat at Back to the Village Food Bazaar or there's some big family events
So I think
and they cook it.
it's not difficult.
See, when we started the fufu powder thing, the amount of rejection.
Yeah, but now in my house, fufu powder is a staple once a week.
Yeah,
They
but
talk.
before the likes of Sky would have rejected the fufu powder thing because they don't see it as African. We need to make progress.
But even
I want to do a quick thing on this. Bernard, whether we like it or not, in this modern era, there's no enough time for a woman to go and sit in the house and deal with this natural hair business. You made your point. Some can have your some can, some cannot.
Don't mind.
Somebody like me.
Apioco has hair dye in her hair.
Yeah, that is that African.
Did she use Abrafon Cartier to mark the hair?
thing. I'll tell you how I dye my hair.
Did she use Abrafon Cartier to dye the hair?
Sky, you made your point. Go away. Go.
You made your
very brief.
You are out of order.
You were supposed to withdraw something. You
are out of order.
Mr. Chair, very briefly, I have nothing against women's choices because I see what it takes to go and sit in a hair salon for 3 hours and get your hair done. Now, when I went natural, it was a personal choice.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see, at the time I started doing my natural hair, there was no economy around it in Ghana. Okay. No natural hair salons existed. You couldn't go and find products that were made in Ghana for natural hair. But now all that exists. So for me, it's a conscious choice to use my hair to invest in Ghanaian products. Having said that, it's not an easy journey. It's not. Natural hair also breaks. And one person with their natural hair can have about 7 different types of hair on their head. And you need to cater to each of those types to make sure that they are well protected and well taken care of. In terms of the dye, I actually dye my hair with vegetable-based dye. Also not easy to find. Yes. And it's a research project.
Let me read a message that will help Vivian. Bernard, on the hair issue, I think the argument of convenience is very key. At 3,000 cedis per hair, that can last for 5 years, 60 months. It's highly economical and financially efficient. This works out to be 12 cedis per month. No salon will charge you 12 cedis a week to look as good as Vivian or Apioco looks every time either of them is on TV. Now, if you have 4 or 5 of these in your closet, I think it's worth every penny for you to spend. We should look at the option of building a factory or a value chain in the hair business.
Bernard, Bernard, that's it. She wears it.
Sky's wife, you say what?
Yes, she's here.
You have been exposed. We don't want to bring family into this matter.
You said them Chono. There's some other woman that is called Inchoest.
What?
No. Yeah, she
Bernard, the solution to our problem, let me say this, the women are not going to stop investing in the wigs, whether we like it or not. Yeah, we are not going to stop. Look at the time I get here and the time I leave here. At what time would I go and sit at the salon and deal with my natural hair?
When there's breaking news.
When there's breaking news. I mean, this is what is paying me, whether I like it or not.
Let's create a brand
we need,
and call it hair locoship.
There were years ago, I think in the 90s and early 2000s, there were a lot of factories in Ghana that were doing hair. What happened to those factories? We saw a few Ghanaians who invested in that industry. They had to shut down because of the money and all that. That is where we should be thinking of building our industries, because the demand will not end today, won't end tomorrow.
Tell Richard Sky we completely disagree with him.
Thank you.
He should stop pouring sand into our gari. What kind of superannuated thinking is that? I boss this is from his wife. Hey, Sky! if you don't behave,
you can see something.
Your
wife has sent a message saying that better behave yourself.
He said we. It means he and your daughters.
No, my daughters know the inside.
Okay, we disagree with you. You should stop pouring sand into our Gary. What kind of superannuated? Tell your wife the here blow. What kind of superannuated thinking is that? Then she said. And then she said, I bought safe from Naira. let's allow peace to prevail.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound systems, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to mention a few. Hisense is the only electronic company in Ghana that gives you 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit any of our showrooms in Accra, also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuasi, Sunyani, Techima, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia to purchase any Hisense product at the best price. Hisense means best quality, best durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. You can always get in touch on 0302 550000 or go to www.hisense.com.gh. We are also available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Hisense Ghana. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. When you place a pre-match multi-bet on football, you go get bonus up to 70% to your winnings if your bet is successful. You can choose from markets like full-time results and both teams to score, from selected competitions including the Premier League, Champions League, and much more. Get this great offer when you visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Anytime is a good time to have a break. Introducing Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's perfect for break times, party times, movie times, and snack times. Savor the moment. Enjoy Munchie Anytime Crackers anytime. Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's light and tasty.
This outfit is FDA approved.
Wow! Kofi, is that your new car? It's very stylish.
Yes, it's the Volkswagen Polo Sedan with over 600,000 sold worldwide and now available in Ghana. It comes with a 1.6-liter automatic petrol engine and 105 horsepower. It is well equipped with a durable design, reliable safety features, and built with German quality standard. Linda, this car is value for money. It even comes with a 3-year, 120,000-kilometer warranty. It gives me great driving pleasure every day.
That's impressive. I would like to own one too.
Well, contact Universal Motors Limited on 0544 338 804 to own yours now.
In a world that's always moving, it's important to have a bank that shares your values and your spirit of perseverance. A bank that understands what it takes to succeed and is there to help you every step of the way. Whether starting a business, building a home, or planning for retirement, we're committed to providing you with the highest level of service and support. We understand the changing times and are ever ready to partner you. We accept your challenge and are ready to build tomorrow with you because our values of responsible, effective, and decisive, just like yours, have brought us success over the years. And we are committed to helping you achieve your goals today and tomorrow.
Call back, forward together.
Hey, close up. Ever fresh, yeah, ever fresh, yeah. Ever fresh, yeah, ever close up.
All new Close-Up Everfresh. Wait, Charlie, what's new?
It now has a triple fresh formula that cleans, protects, and cools. Thanks to a powerful combination of 1, a purifying gel, 2, an antibacterial mouthwash formula, 3, ice cool crystals. That cleans, fights up to 99% bacteria, and intensely cools. Fresh breath. Keeps you protected and fresh long after brushing. Close-Up triple fresh formula. Cleans, protect, and cools. Close-Up Everfresh. Grab yours now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So it's 9:38. Couple of quick announcements, and then later on we have Chief Moment. It's a big event coming up. It's pioneering a major move, and you'll be talking to us about that.
All right, we'll get into that in a second. But first, empower yourself with a practical qualification in corporate finance, financial markets, and investment management, including practical application in financial modeling. CFA is a globally recognized standard for measuring the expertise, experience, and ethics of investment professionals. CFA Level 1 eligibility has been extended to uni students with less than 2 years remaining in their undergrad studies. Get the right support from Benchmark. Register now at benchmarkghana.com or call 0277 511 315 or 0249 944 442. Now, you're thinking about that project. How about paying fees and rent and all of that? Worry no more. First Atlantic Bank's payroll loan is your solution. So far as you're a government worker whose salary is paid by the Controller and Accountant General's Department, you can apply for a loan of up to 150,000 cedis for all your pressing needs. Just dial star 442*30# to apply and enjoy the lowest rates, or visit any First Atlantic Bank branch near you. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Drive confidence with a touch of class and style in the VW Polo sedan. It comes fully equipped with numerous safety features to keep you and your family safe on the road. Enjoy a special discount when you purchase the VW Polo sedan. You can contact Universal Motors Limited on 0544 338804 for more info. Now, if you are looking to a career or looking at starting a career in business analysis, you need to speak to the Center for Business Analysis. In today's corporate world, business analysts are ever more critical to delivering the best business outcomes for their organization. Don't wait, enroll today and take the first step on your way to a brighter future with an IIBA Business Analysis certification. Call the Center for Business Analysis on 0246 809 200 or visit them on their website, centerforanalytics.com. Water is important. Water is life, they say. That's why Standard Water is giving you great, refreshing water. They are in 11 regions and they've been doing this for 25 years. They've got sachet water, bottled water, dispenser, mounted jar water, and customized water for your parties and other special occasions. Call Standard Water on 0202 055 703 or 0547 334 385. And this ad is FDA approved.
All right, so I'm here with Chief Moment. Apioco is also here. Apioco, maybe you need to lead this discussion. Chief Moment is going to talk about the Mansa wealth, right? And it says creating Africa's biggest cultural and entertainment franchise for the global market. Sounds a bit heavy. Charlie, what is going on?
Well, Bernard, good morning, and thank you for having me. And let me just take it from the conversations that you've been having. It all boils down to the fact that at the end of the day, the taste that you create, the images that you create would influence your consumption patterns. And because most of the big content that we consume in our part of the world comes from abroad, inadvertently, we tend to consume a lot of things that are foreign. So our idea of beauty and our standards of beauty are heavily influenced. So unless we begin to tell our own stories in very grand ways, in very, exciting ways that captures the imaginations of our people and the world, we will not be able to assert our own cultural identity and our own natural taste to the world. So, for example, if we want to make African hairstyle, popular, we must glamorize it. And we must glamorize it in our movies, in our theater, in our adverts. And we have a good example. Years ago, it wasn't very fashionable to African prints, maybe 2 decades ago, until people like Shirley and others started glamorizing the use of African prints in movies. And now it's almost very fashionable to use African prints. And we can see the ripple effects in the wedding industry, where now the beaded gowns are becoming even more popular than the white gowns, for example. So the Mansa World is an initiative to tell African stories on the global stage, starting with theater, which is my competitive advantage. And you know my history from Wogbecheke doing Ghanaian stories. I'm now moving into the larger African story. And I want to create a theatrical product that will be Africa's biggest theater product on the global market, that can champion, that can compete against any other theater product. And for example, The Lion King is an African aesthetic that was used, the stage production. It's been staging for 25 years, has grossed almost $10 billion in the box office.
Wow.
If others can extract such economic value out of our own cultural aesthetic, how about those of us who are custodians of that culture? So my work for the past 6 years has been this, to raise the funding that I need, to open the international opportunities that I need, to be able to create and showcase a theatrical spectacle from Africa to the world, and use that to go into other products like movies and animations and comics and the like of it.
So let's talk about the Mansa project.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes.
What is the Mansa Musa show?
Yes.
And why is it being released at this time, or why are you focusing on it at this time?
So we're starting with the Mansa Musa story, which is a very sensational story. Arguably, some people say that one of the richest man to have ever lived was the king of ancient Mali Empire called Mansa Musa, who went on the Hajj with a caravan of 60,000. But the reason why the story is relevant is because the nation was wealthy and powerful enough to be able to launch a caravan of 60,000. It was a complicated journey, across the impossible, desert Sahara, right? And before he became king, his brother, some say his uncle, embarked on a journey across the Atlantic, with 2,000 ships, and some even say he made contact with Native America. So that's the foundational inspiration. So we're telling the Mansa Musa story because it's a sensational story, and a lot of people are doing a lot of content around him, and it's just a matter of time before a big content comes out, and we are using that as our introduction, starting with theater. But we have conceptualized a vision where in the first 3 productions that we are staging, we have 6 heroes who represent Africans of the various regions, the 5 in the continent and in the diaspora. And all of these characters are coming together to help the West African character to discover the lost gold of Mansa Musa. That's our storyline. After we have completed that story, the other characters that we have introduced opens up an avenue for us to explore other African history. So this is really a lifelong and intergenerational project. So think of your Marvel heroes, right? How they can create seemingly endless content out of these characters. We're also creating characters that will enable us explore African history in its totality. But to do so, our entry into market is using the West African story of Mansa Musa, and then we add other West African cultures to it to stage this extraordinary theatrical spectacle, which we know that once we achieve will attract a lot of attention. And we started last year. We did a pilot production in October, in December, in January. And now the whole project, we proposed it to UNESCO over the past year. We've been engaging, and they see a direct link between the Mansa world, what we're trying to do with African history, with a project that they have called the General History of Africa, which has been on for 50 years, trying to compile African history in publications. So they see what we are doing as an opportunity to create excitement, around African history and heritage. And so we're working to enter a major partnership with UNESCO, and the whole project will be launched at their headquarters in Paris on the 25th of May, which is Africa Day. And we're planning to take a cast of 60 to go and stage a really very compelling theatrical. The pilot that we did, we had a cast of about 200, so it was a really immersive experience.
This is serious.
Yes, but this one we are using just about 60, and one of our main objectives is to get the support that we need, because this is a major breakthrough for us to be able to fly in our cast of 60.
So let me. You are talking very quickly, so I'm trying to get the
Okay,
whole.
let me
So
try.
you're saying that Chief Mumi, who used to produce
Wogbejeke.
Wogbejeke, is now saying you want to extend this theoretical phenomenon into African stories.
Yes, African stories.
And the first hero you are going to focus on is Mansa Musa.
Yes.
And you've done depictions of this already.
Yes, we've done a pilot.
In fact, full productions, cast up to 200 at the National Theatre.
Really?
You know, where the stage at the National Theatre was transformed to contain such a cast, including an African symphony orchestra. You had the original scores and whatnot. Very, very interesting, and a lot of work has gone into it. And now, like he's saying, the next stage is to take this as a cultural export to the rest of the world. And after that has been done, because of the way the Mansa Musa story, Mansa Musa world has been written, where there are other heroes within the story from other parts of the continent of Africa. You can now explore and develop those characters in their own stories, and through that expose the history and heritage of Africa.
What was the level of interest in the original production of
Well,
Mansa?
it was. I mean, Apioko saw it, so
The theaters were packed.
I've been talking
And
about
it wasn't your average theater-going audience, which was also very interesting. You know, and I think because of what Mansa Musa represented and his place, even though he was African, within Arab history, you had a lot of people of Arab descent in Accra
Wanting to also
attending.
understand.
Yes, exactly. So it was, you know, and it was very beautiful to see, because I don't think a lot of these people, I mean, I'm always in the art space, but a lot of these people I had seen attending a theatrical production in Accra for the very first time. And so that told me that, look, there is an appetite for this kind of
But
thing.
what kind of, how do the economics work? What kind of outlay do you need to produce this? You have 200 people on cast. How many productions did you do for it to even break even?
Oh, no, I mean, what we're doing can't even break even here. What we actually did was just a snippet of the vision. I mean, we're out there trying to raise a $10 million investment to actually do the work that we want to do. Now, if we are going to produce Mansa Musa in the US, it's going to be probably a $30 to $10 million investment. So there are three major things that we're doing. What we did was the pilot. Now we're doing the launch with UNESCO internationally, and we'll be engaging a lot of international partners. And then we have the tour. We're just taking the pilot across all the different African regions and the diaspora, because we are going to work with creative artists from all over Africa. And then the last major thing that we'll do in our rollout strategy is the Mansa World Festival. Now, that is where you actually get, because right now I'm talking, people don't really see the vision. At the Mansa World Festival, we're going to stage a pilot of all the products that we want to create. So there will be the three anchor theater productions on Mansa Musa, which are all historical epics, you know, with huge cast and ensemble and all of that. So you have the three main productions running concurrently, and then you're going to see a pilot, you know, screenplay, like a movie. You're going to see some animation. You're going to see some merchandise. At this festival, we are going to bring in international producers and studios to come and see this is the world that we are creating. And this is where we hope to be able to entice them to cut deals to go commercial. So this is where we're hoping to get the $50+ million investments to do like a Broadway production, a West End production, or to do a major, you know, movie, you know, or to go on just original or an international tour. So that's the focus now. So we're leveraging the partnership that we're building with UNESCO to engage people who will be interested in funding. And as for the economic benefit, those who invest in the space know. As I said, this is a global product. So we know that you will not look for a $10 million to justify a product for a Ghanaian market like this. But because the world is our marketplace, and because there's evidence of how compelling content can bring about compelling economic value, we are confident that in this day and age where African culture is becoming, in quote, sexy, you can see that in music, you know, and people are, because of the African diaspora, number one, people are looking for more empowering content about themselves. People are tired of the stories of slave trade, of poverty, of disease, which have dominated the global media narrative. So the story of supposedly the richest person who is an African is a sensational story, but also because the story has a lot of links, you know, to Europe and to the Arab world. The first time Africa was captured on a European map was because of the trip of Mansa Musa, captured in the Atalan Mass. And when Europe first heard about Africa, they heard about a continent of riches, and that led to the commissioning expeditions. So some people even blame Mansa Musa for the subsequent horrors of European exploration. So it has a lot of interconnection, and the Mansa Musa era was also an era that connected to Asia through the Silk Road. So you had trade coming all the way from the Silk Road down all the way through the Sahels into Mali and Ghana and those ancient empires. So they were wearing brocades and silks even back then all the way from. So there's just an interesting intercultural element that we're leveraging on. But at this festival, we hope that this will be where people will really experience the Mansa world and its complete.
So what is happening between now and when you go to Paris?
So now our most important need, and because this is a major breakthrough for us, so we're trying to raise the necessary funding. So UNESCO is hosting us, so they're providing the space and the logistics and everything. But we also have to show seriousness by flying ourselves there and taking care.
How many people are you flying?
We're hoping to take 60. A casting crew of 60.
You are sending 60 people to Paris.
Yes. Because my productions
produce
to stage
there.
And even that we are doing the abridged because we need the 200 for people.
So you need to buy air tickets for all the 60.
Yes, I need to pay accommodation and.
How long will they stay in France?
Oh, we're looking about 4 or 5 days. And when we're considering even doing probably Barcelona, and we may do Dusseldorf as well. But the main event is actually at the Paris. So we're doing the main launch on the 25th of May, which is Africa Day at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. The next day, the 26th, we'll take the production out to the Eiffel Tower, at the base of the Eiffel Tower, and we'll do like a, pop-up kind of.
But maybe the French government should just pay for this.
Well, that's when I started this project, I spent so many years trying to look for at least the foundational capital from our part of the world, because you can't have a product that wants to tell and project African stories,
which is paid for by Europeans.
Exactly. So I spent almost 4 or 5 years just trying to look for local patrons, and I was happy enough to meet a number of Ghanaian business leaders. I talked them until they opened up their wallets, to give us the. So we spent from October to January over 1 million cedis just to do the pilot, and that was out of and that was out of the generous contribution. And let me just acknowledge some of our patrons. We have the likes of Dr. Tin Jesse, we have Hajia Maria Zibo, we have Dr. Omar Bo, we have Amar Harry of IPMC, we have Frank Edu of Carl Bank, Mr. Wada Kunyi. So all of them came together to pull the resources that helped us to do the pilot. So now we are now leveraging on that pilot and the project vision to bring about.
So you need how much money to go to France?
At least $150,000 in cash or kind. I mean, I'm knocking on doors. I'm knocking on
$150,000. Yes. But this is a fantastic. I've seen the write-up. This is world class.
It is.
Right. What about the Ministry of Culture or Tourism? And they support.
So currently, I'm knocking on doors of the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Investment Promotions, as well as the Ghana Export Promotion, because all we're doing is non-traditional export, and we're also hoping to attract a lot of investment into the country.
Yeah, the government of Ghana should be part of this.
Absolutely.
Because this is a powerful thing.
This is a cultural export. Mm-hmm. We always think of exports and commodities in terms of hair and
raw materials,
and food.
cocoa.
But this is a cultural export and a creative arts export. And right now, where the world is moving, Bernard, last year, Business Festival, we spoke a lot about the orange economy and what the prospects are there. Mm-hmm. This is a prime example. Now, it should tell you that it's important enough that the Director General of UNESCO has said, come to Paris and let's launch it. Mm-hmm. If you're not careful, what will happen is, once again, the international world will own something that grew up in Ghana.
They will come and say that they've stolen from us.
Exactly. So really, I want to ensure anyone who is listening, if you don't have the purchasing power yourself, you have air tickets, you have links to air tickets, you have links to people who can make this thing happen, please do, because really, if you start now, we are at the cusp of an African creative arts renaissance. That's where we are. I tell you, I was in Vancouver last week because of poetry.
Is it?
Because of poetry. Come and share your work with us.
So the appetite for the African story is at its zenith, but the economics in the country don't seem to be supporting this drive.
Also because we don't understand it. We've not had an extensive conversation about what the creative arts can do for our economy. Mm-hmm. There are pockets of conversations, but we haven't really delved deeply into it. And this is an example. Yeah. So really, I think that we need to jump on this, own it, support it to grow, so that it can also create legs for similar things to to come to fruition.
I mean,
So, Chief, how can people get in touch with you?
They can just give us a call. I mean, obviously, I'm also very ubiquitous in the system. So, over the past 15 years, I've been active on the space, performed for corporate organizations, national, people. So, I'm appealing to anyone who knows Chief Moment and the quality that he can bring, that this is an opportunity not just for me, but to the hundreds of cast and crew I've been working with. And the interesting thing about it is that anyone who supports us, we're going to give you like a Mansa World kind of first edition poster, which will be signed by me. And I can assure you that years from now, that thing will be extremely valuable. So to the people in the corporate, people in government, friends who want to support, they can call us on 0242 303899, 0242 303899. They can find me on social media. They can call Citi FM. You give them my number. And if anyone wants to invest, because what we are trying to do, Bernard, and this has been my obsession, that we want to create $1 billion business. And this is extremely possible. Sometimes people say, hey, don't mention the figures. But if we are not ambitious to create products that can rival products around the world and create new economic values, as you said. Our economy has been the same secular economy for decades. Unless we open up opportunities which are daring and bring in things into the country, we may not be able to create that kind of economic prosperity that we need. And for us, we believe that the creative industry is a low-hanging fruit. The creative and the cultural industry is a low-hanging fruit. So we're asking for support, from government, from private individuals, from corporate Ghana, to support this product that I have absolutely no doubt will be the biggest creative export from Africa. Anyone who has spent so much time doing something so good is bound to succeed, says Don the West. And for me, this has been my work for 6 years actively.
Wow.
I wake up, it's all about my Mansa World production. Traveled the world, knocked on doors, and now there's a major opportunity for us to take things to the next level. And I'm grateful to all our supporters, especially our cast and crew. Even though we spend over a million cities, the actual cost of what we've done in the past couple of months is about 3 million cities.
Wow.
Because I spoke to my cast and crew and said, we don't have the money to pay you. Help us do this. And when it bears fruit, all of us will benefit.
Amazing stuff. 0242 303899.
Yes.
That's the number to call or the number to use to reach Chief and his team to support the Mansa project. I didn't know you were in Vancouver for poetry.
Yeah,
I thought you were on holiday.
I went to for the TED 2023 conference.
Is it?
And I was asked to lead a TED discovery session, which is a 90-minute workshop on my work and what West African Ghanaian poetry can do.
You have globalized.
And Apioko, if you get enough money, we said you should join us, because we actually did a Ghanaian delegation to go and also show that we have strong support from our home country. So it's very important.
Amazing stuff coming in from Chief Moomin, the Bamboo production team, putting together the Mansa World Tour, looking to raise $150,000 to go to France, UNESCO hosting them, to showcase to the world this rich African export, the Mansa Musa story. So get in touch with Chief Moomin, get in touch with Bamboo Productions, support them to send our message to the ends of the world. Always good talking to you, Chief Moomin. Thank you, Apioko, for joining in.
Thank you for having me, Bernard.
I was here with Nathan and Richard Sky. Richard Sky, a lot of people say you are right. They say you are a big man. In fact, they say I shouldn't mind the other people. They say the education is a long journey, but we shall win. Yeah, but now we beg, why? Yes, that was all we did for today. Coming up next is Brunch in the City with Chantel. Before that, City News at 10. Caleb Kuda has the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Coming up, government reiterates